Chapter 120, Do You Disdain Me? Qin Fan sensed the tremor emanating from the Chaos Pearl, causing his entire being to freeze in astonishment. It marked the first time in 2 centuries of bearing the Chaos Pearl that it had autonomously reacted. There was something extraordinary afoot. What's the matter? Are you apprehensive about meeting my grandmother? Lin Qingyan inquired curiously as Qin Fan came to an abrupt halt. Rest assured, my grandmother is quite amiable. Qin Fan shook his head, replying, No, let's proceed inside. Lin Qingyan wore a puzzled expression but proceeded alongside Qin Fan into the ancient mansion. Meanwhile, Qin Fan unleashed his spiritual awareness, intending to uncover the cause behind the Chaos Pearl's reaction. However, at the moment Qin Fan unleashed his spiritual awareness, a tumultuous wave surged within him. My spiritual awareness vanished. Qin Fan's mind was thrown into utter bewilderment. Despite his attempts to employ his spiritual awareness to explore the mansion, once released, it vanished without a trace, akin to a drop in the vast ocean. Qin Fan made several more attempts, all yielding the same result. His released spiritual awareness dissipated like a stone cast into the sea. How is this possible? Even the spiritual awareness of a nascent divinity stage cultivator cannot extinguish mine, Qin Fan exclaimed in shock. Could Lin Qingyan's grandmother be a return to void stage cultivator? But that seems highly improbable. Erasing a cultivator's spiritual awareness was a straightforward matter, it involved overpowering it with a stronger spiritual awareness. However, Qin Fan was different. His nascent divinity was of the highest echelon, and coupled with his cultivation of soul techniques, his spiritual awareness was extraordinarily potent. Even in his current early nascent divinity stage, he was on par with nascent divinity stage cultivators. This was one of the reasons he could contend with them. Hence, it was incredibly challenging for nascent divinity stage cultivators to erase his spiritual awareness unless they were of the return to void stage. However, cultivators of this caliber had long ascended to the upper realm and couldn't manifest in the lower realm. Yet, now his spiritual awareness had vanished. I can only proceed inside first and then endeavor to uncover the cause. Qin Fan silently entered the ancient mansion. Soon, the two entered the courtyard, adorned with an array of flowers and plants. In the center sat an elderly woman with silver hair, seated in a wheelchair, tending to the flora with a watering can. This woman was none other than Lin Qingyan's grandmother, Yang Li. Upon noticing their arrival, Yang Li's face lit up with joy. Qingyan, what brings you here? Lin Qingyan smiled at her grandmother and replied, Grandma, I've come to visit you. Come closer, let Grandma have a good look at you. Yang Li beckoned Lin Qingyan warmly. Subsequently, Qin Fan and Lin Qingyan approached. Meanwhile, Qin Fan discreetly assessed Lin Qingyan's grandmother, Yang Li, pondering to himself, she is a martial practitioner, possessing traces of true qi within her, albeit waning. Moreover, she is afflicted with cancer, likely having no more than half a year to live. It seems her condition is unrelated to the disappearance of my spiritual awareness. Grandma, this is the fiancé I previously mentioned, whom I've longed to bring to meet you. However, he was overseas on a business trip until now, Lin Qingyan introduced Qin Fan. Xiao Qin, I have heard from Wang Lu that you are truly an outstanding individual, a perfect match for our family's elegance. Yang Li raised her eyes, speaking kindly to Qin Fan. Grandmother, hello. Qin Fan played the role of Lin Qingyan's fiancé as previously arranged. Yang Li nodded, then continued, when will you and Qingyan get married? I have already prepared dowry for Qingyan. Grandmother, you came to pick us up precisely for this matter. Without you, Qingyan and I wouldn't be able to proceed with the wedding, Lin Qingyan immediately chimed in. On the way, Lin Qingyan and Qin Fan had agreed to persuade the old lady to return to Jiangcheng, as the medical facilities here were inadequate. No rush, whenever you two decide on a date, then I will return. The old lady seemed completely unfazed, smiling as she spoke. Grandmother, considering your health, it would be better for you to return with me to Jiangcheng first, Lin Qingyan suggested. Grandmother knows her own body. I just want you to marry sooner, so I can give the prepared dowry to Xiao Qin. Yang Li smiled warmly. After finishing, she called out, Xiao Li, come here for a moment, take the young lady to the market to buy some of her favorite foods. After Yang Li called out, a middle-aged maid emerged from the inner room, smiling, Mrs. Here, I can go by myself. You don't know what Qingyan likes to eat, Yang Li remarked. Lin Qingyan naturally understood, realizing her grandmother wanted to have a private conversation with Qin Fan. So, she tactfully said, Aunt Li, I'll go with you and buy some of what Qin Fan likes. Then she turned to Qin Fan, saying, please talk with grandmother. After that, she left with Aunt Li, leaving Qin Fan and Yang Li behind. Xiao Qin, I've heard from Wang Lu about many things, your cultivation, your skillfulness, and even your alchemy, Yang Li said as soon as Lin Qingyan left, immediately starting the conversation. Upon hearing this, Qin Fan responded with a single acknowledgement, Does Qingyan not know? Yang Li inquired. I've told her, but she doesn't believe it. Perhaps because she hasn't had much exposure to the martial world, Qin Fan explained. Wang Lu, also known as Wang Ant, as a preeminent martial artist, had served Yang Li before, so it's no wonder Yang Li would be well informed. Of course, when Yang Li mentioned cultivation, it wasn't about cultivating immortality but rather martial arts. Yang Li chuckled at this and then said, yes, neither Qingyan nor her father have had any exposure to martial arts, so anything she says wouldn't be believed. Grandmother, about your health. Qin Fan attempted to change the subject. I've heard from Wang Lu that you can extend life through alchemy, Yang Li chuckled, speaking very candidly, I understand your thoughts, but even extending life requires one's willingness to live. I've lived long enough, it's about time to accompany my old man. Let nature take its course. Upon hearing this, Qin Fan fell silent immediately. Elixirs could extend life, but only if the person desires to live. You've gained Wang Lu's approval, so you can definitely protect Qingyan. Therefore, my greatest hope now is to see you and Qingyan get married. Yang Li looked at the silent Qin Fan and smiled. Qin Fan could only smile in response and then changed the subject. Grandmother, may I explore the mansion? I've never seen such an ancient residence before. Go ahead, Yang Li said. Then, Qin Fan began wandering around the ancient mansion, trying to find the reason for the Chaos Pearl's reaction. After wandering for a while, Qin Fan felt it was futile because his divine sense disappeared here. Finding something was like finding a needle in a haystack. Moreover, the palpitations of the Chaos Pearl had disappeared, indicating that there must be something here that caused the reaction, but he had no idea where it was. If he really wanted to find it, he could only search through every nook and cranny or dig 3 feet underground, which was obviously impossible. I can only think of another way. It's definitely impossible to find the reason now. Qin Fan felt somewhat helpless soon. Lin Qingyan and Aunt Li returned with a pile of groceries. How did it go with my grandmother? Lin Qingyan pulled Qin Fan aside as soon as she returned. Not well. Unless we hold a wedding or get a marriage certificate, your grandmother won't agree to go to Jiangcheng, Qin Fan said. Upon hearing this, Lin Qingyan became somewhat anxious. How is that possible? Think about it, the Li in the name Xiu Li is from your grandmother's name. She's very shrewd, you can't fool her easily unless we really get married. Qin Fan continued, then paused, looking at Lin Qingyan and shaking his head, seemingly somewhat disdainful, but I think that's unlikely. Seeing Qin Fan like this, Lin Qingyan widened her beautiful eyes, a bit angry as she asked, Are you looking down on me? Qin Fan felt this topic couldn't continue, so without paying attention to Lin Qingyan, he left, leaving Lin Qingyan stomping her feet in anger. Chapter 121, Touching a Hint of Fate. Dinner was sumptuous, and Qin Fan and Lin Qingyan enjoyed it with apparent sweetness. Of course, that sweetness was just a facade used to deceive the old lady. However, the old lady was very astute, completely immune to deception, simply watching the two perform with a kind smile on her face. In the end, amidst extreme awkwardness, Qin Fan and Lin Qingyan finished dinner and awkwardly ran out into the courtyard, strolling around the ancient town. I told you earlier, your grandmother is very astute, utterly unfoolable, Qin Fan spoke as he walked alongside Lin Qingyan by the small river in the ancient town. Upon hearing this, Lin Qingyan could only roll her eyes, looking helpless. So, how can we get grandmother to return to Jiangcheng? Your grandmother once said to me, let nature take its course, Qin Fan said, let nature take its course? Lin Qingyan tilted her head, looking puzzled at Qin Fan, then her eyes shifted. Well, we can only wait for her to want to go to Jiangcheng. Qin Fan casually responded. Then the two continued walking side by side. Today, Lin Qingyan wore a white shirt on top and light blue jeans below, without any flashy attire, hands behind her back, taking light steps, her ponytail swaying gracefully behind her, exuding youthful charm. Qin Fan was similarly dressed in a white shirt and light blue jeans, his hair neatly groomed. Neither of them realized they were dressed as a couple. Because both of them were exceptionally good-looking, they attracted many sidelong glances as they walked down the street. These two looked just like a fairy couple. Yeah, I came out for a walk at night and ended up eating dog food. Comments from passers-by occasionally drifted around them. Listening to these comments, Lin Qingyan's face blushed slightly. She felt as if she were on a date with Qin Fan. Xin Fan, on the other hand, paid no attention to this, walking on the streets of the small town, feeling a sensation he hadn't experienced in a long time slowly permeating his heart. Xin Fan, I want to drink that, suddenly, Lin Xingyan spoke, pointing to a shop by the street. Xin Fan followed her gaze and saw it was a bubble tea shop. I want a double green milk tea, Lin Xingyan said with a faint smile to Xin Fan. Xin Fan had intended to say, if you want it, go buy it yourself. But for some reason, he inexplicably said, alright, I'll go. With that, Xin Fan ran towards the bubble tea shop. Meanwhile, Lin Xingyan stood on the roadside, hands behind her back, her eyebrows forming a crescent moon shape, watching Xin Fan's figure. Xin Fan quickly returned with 2 cups of bubble tea, handing one to Lin Xingyan, yours. Thank you, Lin Xingyan smiled brightly, taking the bubble tea. The two then walked along, sipping their bubble tea. Xin Fan held his bubble tea, listening to various sounds around him. There were vendors calling out, people chatting, love talks, and even the loudspeakers for square dancing. With these sounds accompanying them, that long-lost feeling in Xin Fan's heart became even more intense. Big brother, buy a rose for your sister? Suddenly, a childish voice came from in front of Xin Fan, only to see a little girl carrying a flower basket and holding a rose, with an innocent smile on her face as she spoke to Xin Fan. Xin Fan and Lin Xingyan were both stunned for a moment, then they glanced at each other, feeling inexplicably embarrassed. Big brother, today is the Qixi festival, won't you buy a flower for big sister? The little girl smiled innocently at Xin Fan. Today is Qixi? Lin Xingyan widened her eyes in disbelief. Qixi? Xin Fan furrowed his brows slightly, pondering what Qixi was. Soon, he had an answer, it was Valentine's Day. I really didn't know today was Qixi. Lin Xingyan quickly explained. Spending Qixi with Xin Fan. That was really unexpected. Let's buy one, Xin Fan smiled and said. Then, Xin Fan bought a rose and handed it to Lin Xingyan. Lin Xingyan pursed her lips, took the rose from Xin Fan, and then softly said, thank you. Just as Lin Xingyan finished speaking, Xin Fan felt everything around him come to a halt, people around him disappearing one by one, even Lin Xingyan vanished. He felt as if he were standing alone between heaven and earth, a strange mood slowly entering his heart. I have touched a hint of fate. In an instant, Xin Fan's heart suddenly stirred. Yes, in that instant, he experienced a breakthrough in his state of mind. Not only that, but he also vaguely touched upon the realm of fate, which he had never touched before. What are you doing? Why are you blocking the road? Suddenly, Lin Xingyan's voice came, bringing Xin Fan back to reality from his enlightenment. Then he realized that he and Lin Xingyan were surrounded by 8 youths at some point. The eyes of these 8 individuals were fixed on Lin Xingyan, as if they had never seen a woman in their lives. Damn, didn't expect to encounter this kind of trash here. The leader, a man with a gold chain, tattoos, and reeking of alcohol, spoke up. This man looked at Lin Xingyan with unbridled desire in his eyes. Little girl, come here, come and play with me, I'll treat you to a drink. He reached out towards Lin Xingyan. However, halfway through reaching, his hand was caught in midair. The man seemed to sober up a bit when he was halfway through reaching, then looked up at the person who grabbed his hand. Naturally, it was Xin Fan who grabbed his hand. The tattooed man glared fiercely at Xin Fan, preparing to speak. However, before he could utter a word, he felt his body being lifted into the air and then thrown out. Splash! A sound of water came, and the tattooed man was thrown into the nearby river by Xin Fan. The other companions were stunned when they saw this scene. And in their moment of shock, Xin Fan swiftly took action. Then there was the sound of consecutive splashes, as these people hadn't reacted yet and were thrown into the water by Xin Fan in a flash. Lin Xingyan watched this scene, her hands covering her mouth in astonishment, her face full of disbelief. Not only her, but the onlookers were also extremely astonished. This person didn't even ask questions, nor did he give the other party a chance to speak. He just took action directly. Isn't this going a bit off script? Don't just stand there, let's go, Xin Fan said to Lin Xingyan. Lin Xingyan finally came back to her senses, looking at Xin Fan, not knowing what to say. If those people were given a chance to speak, they would definitely say something lewd. What's the point of listening to that? It's better to take action early, Xin Fan said to Lin Xingyan. Lin Xingyan smiled at his words, looking at Xin Fan with a smile like flowers blooming. Want to continue walking? Xin Fan asked. Sure, Lin Xingyan smiled faintly, then walked to Xin Fan's side and took the initiative to hold his hand. You? Qin Fan looked at Lin Xingyan in confusion. It's Chishi, should we act a bit romantic in case grandmother sees? Lin Xingyan looked at Qin Fan and said. Qin Fan smiled and then said, then let's continue walking. Then, the two continued walking along the riverbank road. Before, when I was brought back to the Lin family, I lived here with Grandma for 2 years. I really like this little ancient town, Lin Xingyan said as she sipped her milk tea. Grandma is the kindest person to me besides my mother, she continued, reminiscing about her past. Speaking of which, she brought Qin Fan to a roadside stall and pointed to a small accessory on display. Qin Fan, I want to buy this. Qin Fan took a look. It was a cheap bracelet for 20 yuan. As a CEO, are you going to wear this? What does it matter? I like it, Lin Xingyan said with a smile, looking at Qin Fan. I never expected that someone like you, with all those glamorous CEO types, would buy jewelry worth tens or hundreds of thousands, Qin Fan remarked. Are you buying it or not? Lin Xingyan asked, sounding a bit displeased. Qin Fan originally wanted to say, if you like it, buy it yourself. But in the end, he involuntarily took out money and bought the cheap bracelet for Lin Xingyan. Lin Xingyan put on the bracelet, holding it affectionately, and smiled brightly. Beauty has nothing to do with price. That's because you're beautiful, Qin Fan said. Lin Xingyan was stunned for a moment at his words, then smiled even brighter. So you can also praise people. Just speaking the truth, Qin Fan replied. Indeed, what he said was true. Lin Xingyan would stand out even in the realm of cultivation for her outstanding beauty. Both of you, I think you should leave quickly, don't show affection here. Suddenly, the stall owner spoke to Qin Fan and Lin Xingyan. Lin Xingyan's face turned crimson at the words. Who's showing affection here? Miss, look around you. Hurry up and leave, don't affect my business, the stall owner hastily explained. As soon as the owner spoke, Lin Xingyan looked around quickly. In the distance, a group of people wielding steel knives and clubs were rapidly approaching them. And the leader was none other than the tattooed man who Qin Fan had thrown into the river like a dead dog. The man you just threw into the water is called Hao, and he has a lot of influence locally. No one dares to provoke him. You two better leave quickly, you've really stirred up trouble, the stall owner panicked upon seeing the situation. That Hao isn't anything, it's his boss Ming who's really dangerous. Yes, Ming is one of Scar Yang's men, a powerful figure in Qingdi's, a skilled fighter, capable of taking on dozens of people alone. Scar Yang is just a lecher, so his subordinates are all like him. Miss, you're so beautiful, you must have caught his eye, so hurry up and leave. And Ming is here too, you two should leave quickly. As the stall owner spoke, the others around them also noticed the situation and began chiming in. There's no rush to leave now. Young man, why don't you find a way to make amends? It's best to apologize and compensate. Don't cause trouble here. Yeah, your girlfriend can go have a drink with him. Hurry up and settle the matter. Tonight is a good festival, and we also need to do business and eat. Many of the stall owners also spoke up. Tonight was a festival, and if things escalated, it would affect their businesses. So, many of them urged Qin Fan and Lin Xingyan to apologize quickly, accompany them for drinks if necessary, and compensate if needed. Their mentality was that they wanted to protect their own interests first. Qin Fan naturally didn't care about their words. Seeing the group of over 20 people approaching with various weapons in their hands, Lin Xingyan felt a bit panicked. She then turned to Qin Fan and said, I know you can fight, but they're all armed. Don't act rashly. Let me think, do I know anyone in Qinghe City? As she spoke, Lin Xingyan took out her phone, scrolled through her contacts, and then made a call. Hello, who's this? Came an elderly voice from the other end. Grandpa Zhong, it's me, Xingyan, Lin Xingyan said softly. Xingyan. The old man paused for a moment, then seemed to remember who Lin Xingyan was and asked, the granddaughter of Lin Xiushan and Yang Li, right? Yes, Grandpa Zhong, it's me, Lin Xingyan replied. After so many years, what made you call me? The old man asked indifferently. Grandpa Zhong, I'm in Qinghe City visiting Grandma. I ran into someone named Minga in this town, and now he's here with a group of people. Lin Xingyan explained cautiously. As she spoke, she kept an eye on Qin Fan. At this moment, Qin Fan had already stood in front of her, facing off with Hao. Minga? The old man was momentarily stunned by Lin Xingyan's words. But after someone seemed to explain it to him, he suddenly realized and said, Oh, you mean Huang Ming? I see now. I understand. I'll make a call. Don't worry, the old man said. Thank you, Grandpa Jean, Lin Qingyan said immediately. No need to thank me. After all, your grandfather, your grandmother, and I were all acquainted, Grandpa Jean said before hanging up the phone. After the call ended, Lin Qingyan breathed a sigh of relief. Since her grandparents' old house was here, she knew some influential figures in the area. Now, tonight's situation could be resolved, of course. She hadn't actually thought of using this connection for such purposes. After all, her grandfather was no longer alive, so this kind of relationship couldn't be casually used. If it were used for tonight's incident, it would be difficult to ask Grandpa Jean for help in the future. However, it was good to resolve tonight's matter. With Grandpa Jean's assurance, Lin Qingyan felt more confident. Kid, you've got guts. Being the first one to throw my brother into the river on my turf, a burly man named Minga stepped forward, speaking up for his little brother. Xin Fan, seeing this, was prepared to take action, but at this moment, Lin Qingyan's voice came from behind him. This is Minga, right? As she spoke, Lin Qingyan walked out from behind Xin Fan and stood by his side, facing Huang Ming. Xin Fan saw Lin Qingyan taking the initiative, so he decided to let her handle the situation. Huang Ming was truly stunned by Lin Qingyan's appearance. No wonder his little brother said that a rare beauty had appeared here. This was indeed an exceptional beauty, even among beauties. Yes, I'm Minga. Your boyfriend dared to lay hands on my brothers and must give me an explanation, Huang Ming said, taking a drag of his cigarette. Lin Qingyan heard Huang Ming's words and knew he was asking for trouble. Moreover, the demand for medical expenses and the request for them to accompany him for drinks were outrageous. It had even angered her. So she spoke in a cold voice, "Are you not giving face even to Grandpa Jean?" Who's Grandpa Jean? The people who came with Minga were puzzled, and Minga's expression changed drastically. You know Grandpa Jean? Yes, Lin Qingyan replied coldly. Minga hesitated for a moment. Grandpa Zhang's reputation had been prominent in Qinghe City for decades, making him a powerful figure. Minga was just a local boss in this ancient town and couldn't compare to Grandpa Zhang. However, compared to Grandpa Zhang, his boss, Scar Yang, was more influential. What's more, Scar Yang had recently made acquaintances with a truly powerful figure, someone who made even the big shots in Jiangnan bow their heads. Because of this, Scar Yang was currently at the peak of his power in Qinghe City. As such, he still had to give Grandpa Zhang some face. However, he didn't quite believe that this woman could know Grandpa Zhang, especially since she appeared to be an outsider. Is that so? Then have Grandpa Zhang give me a call, Huang Ming finally said. Lin Qingyan felt uneasy at this request. She had already felt awkward asking for help over the phone earlier, and if she made another call now, Grandpa Zhang might become displeased with her. In the end, she had no choice but to say, "Don't worry, Grandpa Zhang's people will be here soon. Just wait." Upon hearing this, Huang Ming's face changed dramatically, but he forced a smile and said, "Okay, I'll wait." With that, both parties stood facing each other on the roadside without resorting to violence. Xin Fan found the scene quite amusing. He hadn't expected Lin Qingyan to be able to shake someone's help. Therefore, he decided not to intervene and simply stood by Lin Qingyan's side. "Don't worry, everything will be fine," Lin Qingyan said to Xin Fan, seeing him standing by. In reality, she was the most nervous one. Time passed, and half an hour later, an Audi slowly drove up. A bespectacled, refined-looking man stepped out of the car. "Huang Ming, you dare to offend Grandpa Zhang's guests?" The man looked cultured but spoke with a hint of the underworld in his tone. Huang Ming's expression changed when he saw the newcomer. "I thought it was someone important. Turns out it's just you, Four Eyes." "What? Grandpa Zhang has no one else to send? He sends a coward like you?" Huang Ming's face showed disdain. Huang Ming was now relieved. This Four Eyes was named Gui Yang and was indeed one of Grandpa Zhang's subordinates, but he was only responsible for collecting debts in a few towns and townships in Qinghe City. Not only that, but Huang Ming also owed him quite a bit of money. Lin Qingyan saw the newcomer and realized that he wasn't a significant figure from Grandpa Zhang's side, which disappointed her. "Huang Ming, don't waste time. I'm here to tell you that Miss Lin Qingyan is under Grandpa Zhang's protection." "Think carefully," Gui Yang said calmly, without any intention of taking the lead. Grandpa Zhang had instructed his assistant to call him. At that time, he was still enjoying himself at the clubhouse, and the assistant seemed quite casual, as if he didn't take the matter seriously. Otherwise, why would he leisurely come over after enjoying himself at the clubhouse? Okay. Huang Ming nodded. Since it's Grandpa Zhong's decision, I'll definitely give you face. With that, he looked at Lin Qingyan and said, the matter ends here tonight, you can leave. Lin Qingyan breathed a sigh of relief upon hearing this. The matter had finally been resolved. Immediately, she pulled Qin Fan to leave. I said you can leave, but he can't. However, as Lin Qingyan pulled Qin Fan to leave, Huang Ming's voice suddenly came. Lin Qingyan paused, looking towards Huang Ming and asked, what do you mean? Master Zhong said to protect you. The man beside you is not included. He must stay. Huang Ming, sitting majestically by the roadside, pointed at Qin Fan and spoke. You. Lin Qingyan's expression changed instantly, then she spoke, he is my boyfriend. I don't care what relationship you have with him. My brother was injured by him, so I want to protect him. Go and fetch Master Zhong, or let Autumn Miss or Mr. Dong from Qinghe City make a call. This matter will be settled tonight. Huang Ming said coldly. Lin Qingyan was stunned by his words. Who is Autumn Miss? Who is Mr. Dong? She didn't know. As for having Master Zhong come in person, it was impossible unless her grandfather was present. So she looked at Guiyang. Guiyang immediately looked troubled because the call he received only mentioned Lin Qingyan, not anything about Lin Qingyan's boyfriend. Finally, he shook his head and said to Lin Qingyan, Miss Lin, I am powerless unless Master Zhong comes in person. Lin Qingyan suddenly felt somewhat powerless. All her connections were in Zhongchang. Except for the few relationships her grandfather left behind in Qinghe City, she had no other way. If only she could expand surely to Jiangnan or even nationwide, she wouldn't feel so powerless tonight. Kid, no one will save you this time, said Hao Gu, rubbing his hands together eagerly, his voice grim. And the others who had been thrown into the river by Qin Fan were also approaching him, equally eager. Qin Fan, what should we do? Lin Qingyan saw these people holding weapons and panicked. However, at this moment, Qin Fan suddenly spoke, Master Zhong, Autumn Miss, or anyone else, I don't know. But I remember someone from Qinghe City. Can I call him? Not Master Zhong, Autumn Miss, or Mr. Dong. Anyone won't do, Hao Gu said coldly. It was Huang Ming who stopped their cold words. First, state the name. Let's see if I've heard of him. Huang Ming was naturally unafraid, but he always acted calmly. He certainly hoped to fully understand the other party's background before taking action. Guiyang shook his head. Miss Lin has already called Master Zhong. Who else can you call if you're her boyfriend? You know someone in Qinghe City? I remember you've never been to Qinghe City, Lin Qingyan asked. I haven't been to Qinghe City, but he wants to get to know me, Qin Fan said slowly. With that, he took out his phone, flipping through his contacts as he spoke. I can't remember his name, but it should be in my contacts. The others were dumbfounded to hear this. And Lin Qingyan really couldn't hold it together anymore. If you can't even remember the other person's name, calling them would seem suspicious. I found it, Qin Fan finally found the name. Yang Wei from Qinghe City. Yes, this person in Qinghe City is called Yang Wei. Yang Wei, what a ridiculous name, Hao Gu sneered instantly. Beat him up and see if he still dares to play tricks. A group of big men looked disdainful. Guiyang shook his head. He had never heard of Yang Wei in Qinghe City all these years. However, Huang Ning's face changed drastically at this moment, his voice trembling as he spoke, Yang. Yang Wei, Scar Yang, Big Brother Yang? Chapter 124, Disbelief. Upon Huang Ming's utterance, the entire assembly fell into a deathly silence, every visage frozen in place. The true name of Scarred Yang, born Yang Wei, was obscured by the prominence of the scar etched upon his countenance, hence, he had long been addressed as Scarred Yang. Only a scant few in the entirety of Qinghe City knew his true appellation. However, the moniker Scarred Yang was ubiquitous throughout the city, known to all. It appears so. I've heard those around us addressing him as such, Qin Fan affirmed with a nod. Do you know Big Brother Yan? Huang Ming regarded Qin Fan skeptically. Minggu, don't listen to him. How could he possibly know Big Brother Yan? Exactly. If he truly did, why would his girlfriend need to make the call? Meanwhile, Hao Ge and his cohorts clamored. Do you know this Scarred Yang? Lin Xingyan queried with curiosity. Scarred Yang was a name she had undoubtedly encountered, a prominent figure in Qinghe City. I do not, Qin Fan replied tersely. Indeed, Qin Fan had no acquaintance with Scarred Yang, it was the other way around. Were it not for today's encounter, he wouldn't even have recollected the man. Then you shouldn't speak so presumptuously, Lin Xingyan retorted indignantly. This was a provocation, likely to provoke a more severe response from the other party. Huang Ming, now aware of Qin Fan's penchant for boasting, remarked, he truly fancies himself someone significant, claiming acquaintance with Big Brother Yang. Though I may not know him personally, should I summon him, he would undoubtedly come, Qin Fan addressed Lin Xingyan confidently. With that statement uttered, he promptly dialed a number and spoke into the phone. Yangwei, I am in Qinghe City. After providing his location in Qinghe City, specifying the town and the riverside promenade, he terminated the call. At this moment, Hauge and his group paid no heed, readying themselves to pounce. Suddenly, Huang Ming's phone rang, startling everyone. Upon glimpsing the displayed name, their countenances froze in shock. The screen bore the unmistakable appellation. Big Brother Yang. Instantly, Huang Ming gestured to halt the individuals behind him. Perplexing them, however, Huang Ming promptly answered the call. From the other end of the line came a voice, Master Qin, in Qinghe City, at Jini Ancient Town, precisely at the riverside promenade. Ensure his proper reception, I will arrive shortly. Listening to these words, Huang Ming couldn't comprehend how he had ended the call. Then, with an immensely stiffened body, he approached Qin Fan, trembling as he spoke, Master Qin. I never imagined it would be you. Mingu, what are you doing? Why waste words with him? Just deal with this kid. Hauge bellowed from the side. However, to their astonishment, Huang Ming swiftly turned, raising his foot to deliver a vicious kick toward Hauge, sending him flying several meters away, crashing to the ground. Hauge struggled on the ground, utterly bewildered. The others, equally perplexed, wondered what was happening. Could it be that the call just now was truly from Scarred Yang? Why stand there idly? Everyone, come over and kneel down to apologize to Master Qin and his wife. Huang Ming exclaimed loudly. At this moment, everyone snapped out of their daze, realizing they had truly offended a revered figure this time. Then, Hauge paid no heed to these matters, quickly crawling over to repeatedly kowtow and apologize to Qin Fan. Witnessing this scene, Lin Xingyan was dumbfounded, unable to find words to speak. Meanwhile, Minggu approached with a forced smile, saying, Master Qin, you see, he's just a fool, daring to covet your wife. Whatever punishment you deem fit, we shall abide. Qin Fan turned to Lin Xingyan, inquiring, which hand did he attempt to grab you with just now? Upon hearing this, Lin Xingyan suddenly came to her senses, but she was at a loss for words. However, Huang Ming immediately understood, grabbing a steel pipe and mercilessly smashing it against Hauge's right hand, not stopping after one blow but delivering many. The sound of bones breaking and Hauge's agonized screams filled the air, the scene extremely gruesome. Having never witnessed such brutality, Lin Xingyan turned away, unable to bear watching. Meanwhile, Qin Fan remained silent. After several minutes passed, Qin Fan spoke, let's go back. These are just minor characters, disrupting them is nearly enough. Upon hearing Qin Fan's words, Lin Xingyan quickly took his hand and left with him. Once Qin Fan had departed, Wei Yang, who had been standing by, approached Minggu, cautiously asking, Who is he? He is the person old Master Zhong has been eager to meet, Huang Ming replied to Wei Yang. Wei Yang was thunderstruck by this revelation. The person old Master Zhong had been eager to meet was none other than Master Qin. During the battle with Zhou Dejian, old Master Zhong and the Zhong family had not intervened because at the time, old Master Zhong had been considering aligning with Zhou Dejian. Hence, the Zhong family had been branded traitors by people like Xiang Dongying. However, no one had anticipated the sudden emergence of Master Qin. With a single punch, he shattered Zhou Dejian's power, forcing all the bosses in various cities of Jiannan to bow their heads. Old Master Zhong was instantly placed in an awkward position. That's why his only thought now was to meet and befriend Master Qin, as the consequences otherwise were unpredictable. Thinking of this, Wei Yang trembled all over. Old Master Zhong had missed an opportunity. Now, he hastily got into a car, intending to inform old Master Zhong of today's events as soon as possible. On the way back, Lin Xingyan walked silently beside Qin Fan. Just as they were nearing her grandmother's house, she suddenly lifted her head and looked at Qin Fan. Can you explain what just happened? Explain? Xin Fan was momentarily taken aback by her question. I don't think there's much to explain. Why do you know Scar Yang? And just now I heard clearly, Minga called you Master Qin. Shouldn't you explain? Lin Qingyan approached Xin Fan, staring at him intently. Firstly, I don't know Scar Yang, truly don't. Adding him to my contacts was merely a courtesy during social engagements, otherwise, I wouldn't even remember his name. As for Master Qin, it's beyond my control. They wanted to address me that way. Frankly, I'm not fond of the title, but if they insist, I don't mind. Xin Fan explained the two questions Lin Qingyan had asked. Listening to Xin Fan's explanations, Lin Qingyan felt as though he had explained yet not explained. Are you the Master Qin from Tianqin? Lin Qingyan finally asked. Yes, I've told you, I am Master Qin from Tianqin. Do you believe me now? Xin Fan said. Upon hearing this, Lin Qingyan fell into silence. After a while, she shook her head and said, I don't believe you. Don't believe me? Xin Fan was truly helpless, also curious. Why not? Reason, rationality. The rationality of a normal person. If we had no relationship, if I didn't know you, and you said you were Master Qin, I would believe you. But our relationship, my rationality tells me you couldn't possibly be Master Qin. So, I don't believe you. After saying this repeatedly to Xin Fan, Lin Qingyan took a deep breath and turned around, running into Yan Li's yard. Seeing Lin Qingyan's disbelief, Xin Fan could only express his helplessness, then walked into Yang Li's yard, preparing to thoroughly investigate the reason behind the Chaos Pearl's reaction during the night. Chapter 125, Banquet. Unable to persuade Yang Li to return to Jiangcheng, Lin Qingyan and Xin Fan boarded the high-speed train early the next morning to return to Jiangcheng. After returning to the Lin family's old mansion last night, Xin Fan searched around but still couldn't find the reason for the Chaos Pearl's reaction or the cause of his spiritual perception disappearing, leaving him feeling helpless in the end. Xin Fan could only temporarily set it aside and wait for a suitable opportunity to investigate further. Meanwhile, Lin Qingyan sat beside him, working on her laptop as if nothing had happened by the river last night. I thought about it for a long time last night, but I still can't convince myself to believe that you're Master Qin, Lin Qingyan suddenly spoke while working with her head lowered. Xin Fan felt that Lin Qingyan was truly single-minded and asked, why is that? Lin Qingyan paused, looked at Xin Fan, and then said, it's like this, imagine a poor couple who have endured many years of hardship, and then suddenly one of them tells the other that they are the wealthiest person in the country. Do you think the other person would believe it? The current situation is similar. Not only that, but you also hold my monthly part-time salary of 10,000 yuan and tell me you're the wealthiest person in Jiangcheng. How can I believe you're Master Qin? Upon hearing this, Xin Fan found her argument quite logical and didn't know how to refute it. In the world of cultivation, it would be like having someone you've known for a long time, who has always been ordinary, suddenly claiming to be a powerful figure in the nascent soul stage. Xin Fan himself wouldn't be able to believe it. Soon, the high-speed train arrived in Jiangcheng. Lin Qingyan went to the company to continue modifying the plan, while Xin Fan returned to his number 1 heavenly villa to refine his qi. After all, he had already touched a trace of the will of heaven, and this time, his qi refinement lasted for several days with excellent results, completing 30%. Now, only 20% remained. Being on this earth for just over 2 months and achieving such cultivation results is truly remarkable. Xin Fan concluded his qi refinement, feeling very pleased. In the world of cultivation, breaking through to a small realm of the nascent soul stage could take decades for some, or even hundreds of years for others. Some might spend their entire lives stuck in the early stages of the nascent soul stage. Yet now, Xin Fan felt that he was not far from the mid-stage of the nascent soul stage, all in just 2 months. Beep beep beep. At this moment, Xin Fan's phone suddenly rang. Xin Fan grabbed it, and the phone charging in the distance flew into his hand. Seeing it was Lin Qingyan calling, he answered, "What's up? Do you have time today?" Lin Qingyan asked. "Yes," Xin Fan replied. "Today is Tianqin Company's investment promotion meeting, and there will definitely be drinking at the banquet. Originally, it was supposed to be Guaya accompanying me, but she went on a date, so I can only ask you, is that okay?" Lin Qingyan asked Xin Fan. In reality, according to the contract, Xin Fan couldn't refuse Lin Qingyan's request directly. However, she still sought Xin Fan's opinion, showing her respect for him. Hearing Lin Qingyan's request, Xin Fan suddenly remembered that today was indeed the day he had arranged to meet Jiang Qingning and the others. So he said, "Sure." I'll be waiting for you at home then, Lin Xingyan said once Qin Fan agreed. Immediately, Qin Fan hung up the phone and left the villa. About half an hour later, he returned to Mirror Lake Garden. Inside Lin Xingyan's villa, he saw Lin Xingyan, who was dressed very delicately today, looking extremely beautiful. Get changed, she said. Lin Xingyan handed the prepared clothes to Qin Fan. Do I need to dress up so nicely just to be a driver? Qin Fan asked when he saw the clothes Lin Xingyan handed over. Didn't someone say that Tianqin Company belongs to him? For his own company's banquet, shouldn't he dress a bit better? Lin Xingyan retorted with a smirk. You said you didn't believe, remember? Qin Fan replied, feeling speechless. Of course, I don't believe, but that doesn't conflict with whether you should dress nicely or not. Hurry up and change. Lin Xingyan rolled her eyes at Qin Fan and urged him to change. Qin Fan could only reluctantly put on the suit he didn't particularly like, then got into Lin Xingyan's BMW, but this time, he was the one driving. Remember, not only will influential figures from Jiangcheng be here today, but people from all over Jiangnan will also be attending. Even the Fu family from Huahai City has sent representatives, Lin Xingyan told Qin Fan in the car. Got it, Qin Fan responded and started the car. So, don't mess around and offend anyone, Lin Xingyan added. Offend someone? He was the main character tonight, who could he possibly offend? I know, Qin Fan replied soon. The two arrived at the venue for today's banquet. The venue was called Tianqin Manor, specially prepared by the Jiang family. At this moment, Tianqin Manor was bustling with activity. My goodness, the scale of today's event is truly astonishing. What's going on? I remember a few years ago when a big shot from the capital came here, it wasn't like this. Don't you know? Master Qin, the owner of Tianqin, will be attending tonight, hence the high profile. Many passers-by were amazed by the current scale of the event, as it was even grander than when nobles from the capital visited. Numerous big shots and wealthy individuals from all over Jiangnan had gathered here. Not only that, but many wealthy individuals from Huahai had also come, and even the head and young master of the Fu family from Huahai had arrived, indicating the high status of this banquet. In the parking lot of the manor, Maybachs, Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, and other luxury cars were everywhere. Lin Xingyan's BMW looked quite out of place in comparison. After parking the car, Qin Fan looked at Lin Xingyan, who was getting out of the car, and asked, "Why do you seem so nervous?" "How can I not be nervous? It's my first time attending such a high-profile banquet," Lin Xingyan said, a bit annoyed when she saw Qin Fan looking so relaxed. "And I can only attend because of the investment from the Jiang family into our Shuli media. How can I not be nervous?" "It's no big deal," Qin Fan said casually. "You always talk big. Just remember not to cause any trouble," Lin Xingyan reminded Qin Fan once again. "I know," Qin Fan replied. Then Lin Xingyan gently took Qin Fan's hand and walked into the manor. At the entrance, Lin Xingyan took out the invitation and handed it to the receptionist, saying, "I'm Lin Xingyan from Shuli Media, invited to attend. This is my assistant." After the receptionist confirmed the invitation several times, the two were finally allowed in. Inside the venue, elegantly dressed men and women were everywhere, exchanging pleasantries. As soon as they entered, the attractive couple of Qin Fan and Lin Xingyan immediately caught everyone's attention. Feeling the gazes upon her, Lin Xingyan took a deep breath, adjusted her nervousness, and then said to Qin Fan, "We still have some time, let's grab something to eat first." Qin Fan nodded, and then he and Lin Xingyan walked over to the buffet to get some food. However, before they could eat much, a sarcastic voice came from beside them. "Well, if it isn't Lin Xingyan, the CEO of Shuli Media?" Lin Xingyan turned her head towards the direction of the voice and saw a woman dressed in a purple spaghetti strap dress, low-cut and backless, with heavy makeup, looking at her with a playful expression. Seeing this woman, Lin Xingyan immediately turned away, not wanting to engage. Because this woman was Joe Meyer, the CEO of Fengxing Media. Since its establishment, Fengxing Media had been using various underhanded tactics, constantly antagonizing Shuli Media, even poaching many artists from under Lin Xingyan's banner, causing Shuli to fall into crisis. Later, Shuli Media received investment from the Jiang family, which helped them tide over the crisis. So now, Joe Meyer was her archenemy. Encountering her archenemy, Lin Xingyan certainly wouldn't put on a friendly face. Seeing Lin Xingyan ignoring her, Joe Meyer not only didn't leave but instead smiled even brighter, then leaned in closer. "I heard you and General Huang broke up. It's none of your business." Lin Xingyan replied coldly. General Huang referred to Huang Haiming, the representative of the Wang family in Jiangchang. Huang Haiming had discussed cooperation with Shuli Media, and Lin Qingyan had initially looked forward to collaborating with the Wang family from Huahai. However, it turned out that the true purpose of the Wang family was not cooperation, but to acquire Shuli Media, making it a subsidiary of the Wang Group. Lin Qingyan definitely disagreed with the acquisition, so the negotiations fell through. This matter was well known in the media circles of Jiangchang. Did you break up because you didn't serve General Huang well in bed? Joe Meyer said, seemingly trying to provoke Lin Qingyan. Joe Meyer, watch your mouth. If you like selling your body, that's your business, don't assume others are like you, Lin Qingyan responded coldly, really not wanting to engage with this vile woman. TCH, speaking as if you're so high and mighty. You're only here tonight to curry favor with Master Qin, Joe Meyer sneered. Lin Qingyan really didn't want to deal with Joe Meyer anymore. She grabbed Xin Fan and said, let's go, we're leaving. Xin Fan, being pulled along, felt somewhat helpless. He was enjoying the food, and suddenly, a woman came out of nowhere to argue with Lin Qingyan, and now it was affecting him. But to be honest, Jiang Qingning's preparations for tonight were indeed quite delicious. However, Joe Meyer, seeing Lin Qingyan pulling Xin Fan away, continued relentlessly, Lin Qingyan, you were just acting so aloof, yet now you're keeping a gigolo. He's my assistant, watch your mouth. Lin Qingyan suddenly got angry upon hearing this, glaring at Joe Meyer. Assistant? Joe Meyer sneered even more, crossing her arms and mocking Lin Qingyan, your assistant's name is Guia. Do you think I don't know? Now you've replaced her with a man, isn't that just keeping a gigolo, a boy toy? Smack! Before Joe Meyer could finish her sentence, Xin Fan stepped forward, and then a slap landed on Joe Meyer's face, causing her to stagger backward, blood trickling from the corner of her mouth, her face swollen, staring blankly at Xin Fan. This slap attracted the attention of everyone at the venue, and all eyes turned to Joe Meyer's direction. How dare you hit me? Joe Meyer snapped back at Xin Fan in anger, regaining her senses. You little gigolo, how dare you hit me? What's wrong with hitting you? You're such a despicable woman, you deserve to be hit. Xin Fan sneered coldly. To be called a gigolo and a boy toy was an insult he couldn't tolerate. What madness is this? He actually hit someone. Who is this person? How dare he behave like this here? Doesn't he know who's attending tonight? The people around started discussing, criticizing Xin Fan for his lack of manners despite his good looks. Lin Qingyan was stunned by the scene. She hadn't expected Xin Fan to directly slap Joe Meyer. But, she found the slap quite satisfying. However, she knew things were going to escalate quickly, so she hurriedly pulled Xin Fan away. Stop right there. Who gave you the guts to hit Meyer? However, before Lin Qingyan could pull Xin Fan away, a stern voice interrupted them. Then, a young man in his mid-20s, accompanied by a group of security guards, approached and blocked their path. Xin Fan and Lin Qingyan stopped and looked at the man blocking their way. This man was well-dressed, with a rebellious air about him. Who are you? Xin Fan furrowed his brow and asked. You don't know me, yet you dare to come in here. Not only that, you dare to hit someone on my territory. You've got some nerve. The young man sneered disdainfully at Xin Fan. He's Fu Ziping, the sole agent of the Fu family in Tianqing Company in Jiangcheng, and the current first son of Jiangcheng. Lin Qingyan whispered to Xin Fan. Tianqing Group was a partnership between the Jiang family and the Fu family, but Xin Fan only provided the products, without contributing anything else. Fu Ziping was the sole agent sent by the Fu family to Jiangcheng, which meant he definitely had the support of the Jiang family in Jiangcheng. Moreover, as the legitimate son of the head of the Fu family in Huahai, his status in Jiangcheng was naturally very high, hence he was known as the first son of Jiangcheng. Fu, do you want to stand up for me? At this point, Joe Meyer threw herself into Fu Ziping's arms, crying and complaining. Meyer, don't worry, I won't let him off for hitting you. Fu Ziping comforted Joe Meyer as he held her. Lin Qingyan, seeing this scene, felt her heart sink. Regardless of anything else, Joe Meyer's methods were indeed formidable. She was truly the #1 socialite in Jiangcheng. Seeing this situation, it was certain that Joe Meyer had seduced Fu Ziping and had him under her spell. Now, Fu Ziping was definitely going to stand up for her. And this banquet was his territory. Lin Qingyan felt like she was in deep trouble. Do you know who I am now? At this moment, Fu Ziping turned to Xin Fan with a cold face and spoke. Fu, he's been away from Jiangcheng for a while, it's understandable that he doesn't recognize you. Lin Qingyan could only explain to Fu Zipping with a stiff smile. Fu Zipping looked at Lin Qingyan, chuckled contemptuously, and said, "Who are you?" "Fu, she's Lin Qingyan, the CEO of Shuli Media, and that man is her gigolo." Joe Meyer pointed at Lin Qingyan and said to Fu Zipping. "Shuli Media? That pathetic little media company? What right do they have to attend this banquet?" Fu Zipping sneered disdainfully upon hearing Lin Qingyan's background. And the guests around couldn't help but mock Lin Qingyan. Lin Qingyan was really in big trouble now. "I have an invitation from the Jiang family," Lin Qingyan said, taking out the invitation. It was indeed an invitation from the Jiang family. Among the companies and enterprises invited tonight, Shuli Media was considered the lowest tier. Without the 1 billion investment from the Jiang family, she wouldn't have received the invitation. "Don't give me that nonsense. It's just a little company. Beat this kid up, then kick them out for me," Fu Zipping shouted, paying no attention to the invitation at all. So what if Lin Qingyan had an invitation from the Jiang family? A little media company like hers being kicked out? Would the Jiang family care? To put it bluntly, Jiang Qingning probably didn't even know that such a company was invited. Being kicked out wasn't even a big deal. However, as soon as Fu Zipping finished speaking, he found that Qin Fan had already appeared in front of him somehow, then grabbed his collar. Then, there was a loud bang. Fu Zipping was thrown out, smashing the table to pieces. Everyone was stunned to see the scene. Was this guy insane? Chapter 127, Is this truly your assistant? Fu Zipping lay amidst a heap of shattered tables, grimacing in pain, feeling as though his back had been torn asunder. He hadn't even comprehended how his opponent had managed to strike, but no, that wasn't the focal point. The crux lay in the audacity of this individual to lay hands on him. As others beheld this spectacle, genuine astonishment washed over them. Lin Qingyan was utterly dumbfounded, not merely shocked but feeling as though the heavens themselves were collapsing. It would have been one thing had Joe Meyer been struck, but now turning to assault Fu Zipping with such force, the blows alone seemed to resonate with pain. At this juncture, cooperation with Tianqing Corporation was the least of their concerns. It seemed likely that they might provoke Shuli to the point of annihilation. Lin Qingyan's sole preoccupation now was to swiftly escort Qin Fan away. Lingering here any longer would only result in Qin Fan attracting the attention of those influential figures, potentially leading to irreparable consequences. What's happening? Why is everyone congregating over there? Just then, a crisp voice cut through from nearby. At this proclamation, everyone present froze in astonishment, collectively turning towards the source of the sound. There stood an elegantly tall figure, clad in a scarlet evening gown, hair swept up in an elaborate coiffure, exuding an aura of indescribable refinement. As the woman made her way over, her presence alone seemed to eclipse all others, rendering every woman in attendance acutely aware of their own inadequacy. "Miss Jiang has arrived," the onlookers murmured as they caught sight of her. Upon hearing that Miss Jiang had arrived, Fu Zipping couldn't contain his joy, promptly scrambling to his feet. "Miss Jiang truly deserves her title as Jiang City's foremost socialite. She is truly exquisite," he remarked admiringly. "Such grace, such bearing, such beauty, only she is worthy of hosting tonight's banquet," the guests chimed in, unable to resist praising the captivating Jiang Qingning. Jiang Qingning, originally slated to preside over tonight's festivities, had arrived early, only to find a gathering of people in the venue center, leaving her perplexed. Had the VIPs arrived ahead of schedule? As Jiang Qingning drew nearer, the crowd parted, allowing her to approach unhindered. Casting her gaze upon the grimacing Fu Zipping, as well as Qin Fan and Lin Qingyan, her brow furrowed in concern as she inquired, "What's happened?" "You've arrived just in time. This rascal has caused a disturbance here, laying hands on me." "Quickly, call for someone to eject him," Fu Zipping declared loudly, pointing accusingly at Qin Fan once he had managed to clamber to his feet. "Miss Jiang, this individual is Lin Qingyan's assistant from Shuli Media. He not only assaulted me but also struck Mr. Fu," Joe Meyer interjected, stepping forward to level accusations against Lin Qingyan. In that moment of accusation, she couldn't help but feel a surge of triumph. "Lin Qingyan, you're truly in dire straits this time." Jiang Qingning's gaze fell upon Qin Fan, her smile gentle as she inquired, "You're responsible for this?" "Yes, I am. These two deserved it, and I couldn't restrain myself," Qin Fan replied nonchalantly. Upon hearing this, Lin Qingyan simply covered her face, feeling that there was no way to explain away Qin Fan's words. Meanwhile, the others stared at Qin Fan as though he were a fool. "You're truly seeking your own demise. What the hell did you just say?" You're the one who deserves a beating. No, you're asking for death. Fu Ziping exploded upon hearing Qin Fan's words. Lin Xinyan, did you hear that? He said Fu Xiao deserves a beating. You've really raised a lunatic, Zhou Meyer exclaimed gleefully upon hearing this. Deserves a beating? Jiang Qingning heard Qin Fan's words and smiled sweetly before walking over to Zhou Meyer, scrutinizing her smack. Suddenly, Jiang Qingning raised her hand and slapped Zhou Meyer across the face, causing her to stagger back, hand clamped over her cheek, eyes wide with astonishment. She couldn't fathom why Jiang Qingning had suddenly struck her. Neither could anyone else. Why was Zhou Meyer being slapped again? You indeed deserve it, Jiang Qingning said lightly, flicking her hand dismissively. This time, Zhou Meyer was not only dumbfounded by Jiang Qingning's slap but also dumbfounded by her words, left only to look to Fu Ziping for help. Jiang Qingning, what do you mean by this? Do I also deserve a beating? Fu Ziping grew furious. Yes, you do. You've been in Jiang City for so long, accomplishing next to nothing, but indulging in numerous dalliances, Jiang Qingning replied with disdain. Dalliances aside, you've ended up entangled with this nobody. Do you not realize how foolish you are? Jiang Qingning looked at Fu Ziping with contempt. He had been in Jiang City for over a month, achieving nothing but indulging in pleasures. Fine, indulge all you want, but to end up in Zhou Meyer's bed? Who is Zhou Meyer? The renowned public transit in Jiang City. Moreover, wasn't Master Qin here? Didn't Fu Ziping's family provide him with photographs? Or are they simply blind? Jiang Qingning not only wanted to scold him for deserving a beating but also wanted to call him an idiot, perhaps even wanted to resort to physical violence. However, she restrained herself given the circumstances. Jiang Qingning, don't push it too far. Fu Ziping exploded upon sensing Jiang Qingning's growing impatience. You're actually protecting these two. Believe me, I'll turn against you. Upon hearing this, Jiang Qingning could only shake her head in exasperation. Turn against me? Fine, why don't you do it now? Fu Ziping was at a loss for words at Jiang Qingning's attitude, ultimately just sneering in disdain. He certainly wouldn't turn against her at this critical juncture. After all, this was a public occasion for both parties' cooperation. Turning against her would only bring disgrace to his family, and he wouldn't engage in such foolishness. Besides, the most important thing today was to meet Master Qin. Fu Ziping's family had sent him to Jiang City precisely to forge connections with Master Qin and pave the way for his ascension to the head of the household. They're here. The big shots are entering. At that moment, a commotion erupted from outside the door. Mr. Jiang and Lord Xiang. That scar is truly frightening, no wonder he's called Scar Yang. By the way, which one is Master Qin? I don't know, it seems like Master Qin isn't here. Could it be that Master Qin isn't coming this time? At the entrance, the big shot slated to make an appearance tonight had arrived, drawing the attention of almost everyone present, leaving this group largely ignored. You two are finished. It won't just be a beating later, it'll be your legs getting broken. Fu Ziping glared at Qin Fan, his voice dripping with malice. I'll remember that. I'll be waiting for you to break my legs later, Qin Fan replied calmly. You're truly daring. Let's see how Jiang Qingning will protect you. Fu Ziping sneered upon hearing Qin Fan's response. With that, he left angrily with Zhou Meyer. The big shots had arrived, and it was time to entertain them. There would be ample opportunity for revenge later. As Zhou Meyer departed, she cast a venomous glance at Lin Xinyan. Lin Xinyan looked towards Jiang Qingning, unsure of what to say. Though she could tell Jiang Qingning was trying to help her. Jiang Qingning smiled warmly at Lin Xinyan, extending her hand and speaking, Miss Lin, I've heard your name but never had the chance to meet. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I'm Jiang Qingning. Lin Xinyan was a bit puzzled by Jiang Qingning's words. Was this the time for introductions? Hadn't the matter yet to be resolved? Nevertheless, she politely extended her hand, shaking Jiang Qingning's. Shioli Nidia, Lin Xinyan. Miss Lin, I presume you're interested in Tianqin Corporation's business this time. Let's discuss it while we have the chance, Jiang Qingning said with a smile. Lin Xinyan was dumbfounded. The opportunity she had longed for had come so suddenly? Immediately, Jiang Qingning led Lin Xinyan and Qin Fan to the nearby VIP room. Miss Jiang, this is the proposal I've prepared. Please take a look, Lin Xinyan said as soon as she sat down, handing over the carefully prepared proposal. However, Jiang Qingning didn't even glance at it, instead turning her gaze to Qin Fan. "Miss Lin, is this person really your assistant? You seem to have a good relationship." Chapter 128, Women Only Affect the Speed of Cultivation. Lin Qingyan was dumbfounded by Jiang Qingning's question. Instead of looking at her proposal, she inquired about her relationship with Qin Fan. "Miss Jiang, is this relevant to our cooperation?" Lin Qingyan spoke up. "I'm just curious. I've had many assistants, but I've never seen one so daring, especially one who would dare to stand up and even strike the assistant of someone like Fu Ziping," Jiang Qingning said with a light smile, glancing mischievously at Qin Fan. Qin Fan was speechless. Had this woman lost her mind? Lin Qingyan felt a bit embarrassed, unsure of how to respond. "It's said that one shouldn't pry into others' preferences, but I really like your assistant. How about it, Miss Lin? Can you let him work for me?" Jiang Qingning smiled as she looked at Lin Qingyan. "No way." Lin Qingyan firmly refused upon hearing this suggestion. "Why?" Jiang Qingning asked curiously. "I couldn't say earlier, but I'll say it now. He's not my assistant, he's my..." Lin Qingyan paused, took a deep breath, and then said very seriously, "He's my fiancé." With that statement, the room fell silent. Jiang Qingning's smile froze, and Qin Fan looked at Lin Qingyan with astonishment. How had their relationship suddenly escalated? "Miss Jiang, so I'm afraid I can't let him work for you," Lin Qingyan said to Jiang Qingning. "Why did you say he was your assistant earlier then?" Jiang Qingning asked, her smile returning. "After all, it's a private matter, and bringing my fiancé to such an occasion seemed inappropriate. He's a doctor, not a businessman, so bringing him here would have violated the agreement of the banquet. That's why I said that," Lin Qingyan explained smoothly, using the excuse she had prepared in advance. "When are you getting married?" "I'd like to attend," Jiang Qingning asked directly. "Miss Jiang, once we're married, I'll be sure to notify you, but this is a matter between Qin Fan and me, unrelated to our cooperation. Shall we discuss our collaboration instead?" Lin Qingyan deftly avoided the question. "If Miss Lin remains unmarried for too long, I'm afraid it might affect her work." "After all, family matters can influence work," Jiang Qingning continued. "Maintaining a clear boundary between personal and professional life has always been my style," Lin Qingyan chuckled lightly. Qin Fan couldn't help but feel that this didn't sound like her at all. Wasn't their contract a professional matter? Why did it suddenly feel like a personal one? "It sounds like Miss Lin isn't very eager to marry Mr. Qin," Jiang Qingning retorted, needles hidden in her words. "No, that's not what I meant. It's just that there's no need to rush into a wedding," Lin Qingyan replied. The two women spoke casually, but there was an unmistakable tension in the air. "These two are nuts," Qin Fan couldn't help but comment as he witnessed the scene unfold. Knock, knock. Suddenly, a knocking sound came from outside the door, interrupting the conversation between Jiang Qingning and Lin Qingyan. "Come in," Jiang Qingning called out. Subsequently, the door was pushed open, and Shen Yao walked in, intending to say, "The banquet has begun, miss, you should go out." However, upon entering, he immediately sensed the awkward atmosphere and noticed Qin Fan. This instantly bewildered him. Perfect timing. "This is Miss John's assistant, Chen. We'll go outside to have a chat," Qin Fan said upon seeing Shen Yao, feeling relieved that he wouldn't have to watch the two women act out their drama. With that, Qin Fan ushered the bewildered Shen Yao out. "Qin Master, this..." Shen Yao looked at Qin Fan with confusion. "Shen Yao, do you have a woman?" Qin Fan casually inquired. "I'm married," Shen Yao replied. "No wonder you've been stagnating like this," Qin Fan sighed upon hearing that. "Qin Master, does that have anything to do with cultivation?" Shen Yao asked, looking puzzled. "Don't you know that women only slow down cultivation speed?" Qin Fan spoke with some disdain. Shen Yao was completely dumbfounded. What kind of talk was this? How could women affect cultivation speed? However, he didn't dare to argue. After all, Qin Master was formidable. What a formidable person said must be true. "Qin Master, Miss Jiang, Master Fu and others are already waiting for you. Let me take you there." Shen Yao quickly changed the subject. Originally, he wanted to invite Jiang Qingning to host the banquet and then let Qin Fan take the stage to deliver a speech. But now it seemed that this step could be skipped entirely, and Qin Fan could directly meet those who wanted to see him. Xin Fan was pleased to skip many troublesome matters and proceed directly to the final step. So, he agreed immediately and went with Chen Yao to the box where Jiang Tianxiong and the others were. Meanwhile, many people in the venue were waiting for Qin Master to appear, but he was nowhere to be seen. Master Fu, didn't you say that Qin Master would appear today? Which one is Qin Master? Zhou Meyer, hanging onto Fu Ziping's arm, asked eagerly. In her heart, as long as this Qin Master was a man, she had means to win him over. That was her purpose in coming this time. The people appearing here are not qualified to see Qin Master. He must be in the VIP box now, with my father and other real big shots, Fu Ziping replied. When can I go then? Zhou Meyer asked eagerly. Young master, the master asked me to call you over. Suddenly, Haimu appeared next to him and said. Haimu, is Qin Master there too? Fu Ziping immediately asked. He's there, Haimu replied. Let's go, Meyer, I'll take you to see Qin Master, Fu Ziping said to Zhou Meyer, dispelling the gloominess from before. Zhou Meyer smiled flirtatiously, leaning close to Fu Ziping's ear and whispered softly, Young master, I adore you. Whatever you desire tonight, I'll fulfill it for you. Fu Ziping felt a surge of excitement. Haimu looked at Fu Ziping shaking his head. Whether it was the current head of the family or the next generation, none of them could carry the weight. Young master, what kind of person is Qin Master? Walking along the road, Zhou Meyer suddenly asked. Fu Ziping was momentarily stunned by the question. What kind of person was Qin Master? He didn't know. He hadn't even seen him, he had only heard about him from people within the clan. So, he turned to Haimu and asked, Haimu, what kind of person is Qin Master? Upon hearing this, Haimu turned his head to look at Fu Ziping, his expression filled with disbelief, then asked, Young master, you've been in Jiang City for so long, and you've never visited Qin Master? Fu Ziping felt guilty under Haimu's gaze, stammering, Qin Master, he was away from Jiang City for a while, so too didn't visit. When Qin Master returned, I informed you immediately. You didn't go to see him? Haimu asked in astonishment. Fu Ziping immediately shrank back, too afraid to speak. Haimu looked at Fu Ziping with a mix of anger and disappointment. Young master, you've been too busy, so you didn't go. Now it's fine to meet Qin Master, Zhou Meyer interjected, trying to smooth things over. Upon hearing this, Haimu immediately shifted his gaze to Zhou Meyer, his eyes filled with killing intent. It seemed that his young master was truly enchanted by this woman. Feeling the gaze on her, Zhou Meyer's spine went cold, quickly stepping back. Haimu, let's go see Qin Master first, Fu Ziping quickly intervened. Shaking his head, Haimu led Fu Ziping and Zhou Meyer to the most prestigious VIP box, then pushed the door open. Fu Ziping's heart was burning with anticipation as he walked into the box. But as soon as he entered and saw the man in the main seat, he froze in place. Chapter 129, Offending the Master Qin. All the big shots and tycoons attending tonight's banquet were gathered here. They held their glasses, queuing up to toast the young man sitting in the main seat. Master Qin, finally, I have the pleasure to meet you. Here's to you, please enjoy. Master Qin, it's been a long time. Master Qin, my hot spring resort just opened. You must come and visit when you have the time. These people raised their glasses to the young man, offering compliments or trying to establish connections, then emptied their glasses in one gulp. Fu Ziping stood at the door, staring blankly at the young man. He watched as the young man casually lifted his glass, gestured, then put it down. However, those toasting were not at all inferior to Fu Chuansun. They eagerly raised their glasses to the young man, expressing their respect. Ziping, come over and meet Master Qin. Fu Chuansun naturally spotted Fu Ziping standing at the door and called out to him. Fu Ziping, upon hearing the voice, startled, looked at Haimu, and stuttered, he is Master. Master Qin? Young master, come over quickly and meet Master Qin, Haimu urged. Fu Ziping was dumbfounded, and Zhou Meyer was also dumbfounded. Ziping, what are you standing there for? Come over quickly. Fu Chuansun, seeing Fu Ziping standing still at the door, spoke somewhat displeased. Everyone present was desperately trying to flatter Master Qin, but his own son was hesitating. Upon hearing Fu Chuansun's words again, Fu Ziping could only grit his teeth and lead Zhou Meyer over. Master Qin, this is my son, Fu Ziping, the full authority representative of the Fu family in Jiang City. Please take care of him in the future. Fu Chuansun spoke as soon as he saw Fu Ziping approaching. Understood, Xin Fan replied nonchalantly when he saw Fu Ziping approaching, neither confirming nor denying. At this response, Fu Chuansun and Haimu immediately became nervous. Did Fu Zipping have a conflict with Master Qin? Sure enough, the next moment, Xin Fan leisurely spoke, "Did you just say you wanted to break my legs?" Fu Chuansun and Haimu were almost breathless upon hearing this, nearly collapsing on the spot. Master Qin, is there a misunderstanding? Fu Chuansun broke out in a cold sweat. Xin Fan didn't bother to respond. Fu Chuansun's face darkened, immediately speaking up, "You scoundrel, who gave you the audacity to offend Master Qin? Apologize to him on your knees." Fu Zipping's face flushed red, his eyes filled with resentment as he looked at Xin Fan. However, under Fu Chuansun's pressure, he reluctantly spoke, "Master Qin, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was you just now. I told you earlier, wait until you apologize to me for breaking your legs." Xin Fan responded indifferently. Fu Zipping's expression changed upon hearing this, immediately looking to Fu Chuansun for help. "Master Qin, it's all my fault for not teaching my son properly. Please forgive him this once." Fu Chuansun spoke with a hint of fear. "Master Qin, the young master must have been bewitched by this woman, which led to his foolish offense against you. Please spare him this once," Haimu chimed in from the side, casting a meaningful glance at Zhou Meyer. Xin Fan turned his gaze to Zhou Meyer, who was trembling on the side, and calmly said, "I have always handled matters on an individual basis." With that statement, both Fu Chuansun and Haimu fell silent. Xin Fan was a master of controlling thunder and transforming dragons. He didn't need anyone's help to destroy the Fu family. What's more, Xin Fan's beauty and skincare products alone brought in billions in profit annually, not to mention his other products. Facing Xin Fan, the Fu family was nothing but trash that could be crushed at will. Meanwhile, others watched with a hint of amusement. The Fu family was indeed foolish. They partnered with Master Qin, only for their young master to offend him. Only the medical sage, Fu Baishao, from the Fu family, could be considered someone of importance. "Qin, stop this nonsense. I've already apologized. Without our Fu family, where would you?" Fu Zipping's heart sank to the bottom as he suddenly erupted, shouting out, "Son, shut up." Fu Chuansun immediately stood up and shouted loudly. Fu Zipping stubbornly looked at Fu Chuansun. "Haimu, you deal with the young master on behalf of Master Qin." Fu Chuansun gritted his teeth and said, "Young master, remember today's events. If there's anyone to blame, it's yourself." Haimu immediately spoke to Fu Zipping. With that, he immediately exerted force, delivering 2 kicks. Crack! 2 consecutive sounds of bones breaking rang out, followed by Fu Zipping's screams of agony. Fu Chuansun watched Fu Zipping writhing on the ground and closed his eyes. Breaking both legs was still better than alienating Master Qin. I. Upon witnessing this scene, Zhou Meyer, in horror, continued to step back, her words becoming incoherent. "I didn't know, spare me. You vile woman, this is definitely related to you." Haimu's eyes turned cold, then he stepped forward and slapped Zhou Meyer on the forehead. Instantly, Zhou Meyer's eyes rolled back, and she collapsed to the ground, lifeless. Xin Fan observed this scene calmly and said, "Out of respect for the medicinal materials provided by the Fu family, I won't kill Fu Zipping this time. But if there's a next time, there will be no mercy." "Thank you for your mercy, Master Qin," Fu Chuansun hurriedly thanked with a nod. Xin Fan stood up and said, "Everyone has seen enough. I should leave. We respectfully see Master Qin off." Everyone stood up and respectfully bid farewell to Xin Fan. With that, Xin Fan walked out of the box. As everyone watched Xin Fan's departing figure, they couldn't help but sigh inwardly, a son should be like this. After Xin Fan left the box, his phone rang. He answered the call and heard Lin Xingyan's voice. "Where are you?" "Going outside." "Are you feeling better?" Xin Fan asked. "I'm fine." "Everything has been settled," Lin Xingyan said joyfully. In front of the door, Xin Fan replied, then hung up the phone. Soon, Xin Fan arrived at the door, and Lin Xingyan also arrived shortly after. At that moment, the sound of an ambulance rushed over. "What's happening?" Lin Xingyan looked curiously towards the ambulance. "Isn't that Fu Zipping? Why is he being taken away in an ambulance?" Lin Xingyan saw Fu Zipping being carried into the ambulance with a painful expression. "He had his legs broken and needs emergency treatment," Xin Fan replied casually. "What's going on?" Lin Xingyan asked, shocked. "He offended Master Qin," Xin Fan replied simply. Lin Xingyan was stunned at this news, wanting to ask for details, but then another car drove up. A hearse? Who died? Lin Xingyan was dumbfounded as she saw the approaching vehicle. Then, she saw Joe Meyer's body being loaded onto the hearse. What? What's going on? Lin Xingyan was truly dumbfounded. Joe Meyer was dead? She was fine just now, how could she be dead? She also offended Master Qin, Qin Fan said lightly. Qin Fan drove the car with Lin Xingyan sitting in the passenger seat, her mind still buzzing, feeling dazed. She had just chatted with Jiang Qingning, and then Fu Ziping got his legs broken, and Joe Meyer died. The world was changing too fast, and it all seemed incredibly surreal. What are you thinking? Did the cooperation not go well? Qin Fan asked when he noticed Lin Xingyan spacing out. Hearing Qin Fan's voice, Lin Xingyan snapped out of her thoughts and looked at him, saying, "How could it not go well? It must have been a success. And I'm even starting to doubt if I'm dreaming. What's wrong?" Qin Fan inquired. The conditions were just too good, Lin Xingyan said. Jiang Qingning's offer made her feel like she was dreaming. She had never imagined such favorable terms, even after years of working in media. "You should be happy then," Qin Fan said. "But it feels unreal. Although I'm confident in my abilities to do my best, it just feels strange," Lin Xingyan said, lost in thought. "What's strange about it?" Qin Fan asked with a smile. "It just feels like Jiang Qingning is intentionally doing this," Lin Xingyan said thoughtfully. Of course, Qin Fan knew who Jiang Qingning was trying to please. But if Jiang Qingning found out about his fake relationship with Lin Xingyan, he wondered what her reaction would be. "Could it be because of you?" Lin Xingyan suddenly turned to Qin Fan and asked. "Me?" Qin Fan was taken aback for a moment. "Do you believe I'm Master Qin?" Qin Fan thought that Jiang Qingning must have already told Lin Xingyan everything about him being Master Qin, so he was sure she would believe it by now. However, Lin Xingyan's next words made him realize that she still didn't believe it. "What are you talking about?" Lin Xingyan rolled her eyes at Qin Fan. "Didn't she say she wanted you to be her assistant, so now she's trying to bribe me with these conditions?" "But I won't agree." Qin Fan couldn't help but laugh at her words. She was quite spot on. But in reality, both Lin Xingyan and Qin Fan had only guessed half of the truth. Jiang Qingning's assistance to Lin Xingyan wasn't just about pleasing Qin Fan, it also aimed to distance Lin Xingyan from Qin Fan. Jiang Qingning could see that Lin Xingyan still didn't believe Qin Fan was Master Qin. In fact, she didn't even know. So, Jiang Qingning had an idea. If Lin Xingyan's career skyrocketed, making her one of the top female CEOs in Jiangcheng, or even in Jiangnan, her status would be too high for Qin Fan, who was just an ordinary intern doctor. Lin Xingyan might not even want him anymore. Then, without any action from Qin Fan, Lin Xingyan would probably break up with him. This wasn't without reason. There was a similar case where a CEO fell for a married woman in his company. Despite her refusal due to her fidelity, the CEO cleverly arranged for her to win a grand prize for a 7-day luxury trip to Dubai. After experiencing the luxury lifestyle, she returned with changed views and couldn't stand her ordinary husband anymore. She ended up divorcing him and being with the CEO. Currently, Jiang Qingning's idea is as follows: to elevate Lin Xingyan's perspective to a level where it surpasses common standards. As long as the identity of Master Qin is not revealed, Lin Xingyan will surely remain indifferent. Therefore, during this conversation and collaboration, Jiang Qingning not only refrained from revealing Master Qin's true identity but also intentionally or unintentionally assisted in concealing it, leaving Lin Xingyan completely unaware of who Master Qin really is. Next, it's a matter of waiting for Lin Xingyan to become a leading female CEO, and then orchestrating her separation from Qin Fan, allowing Jiang Qingning to seize the opportunity. It's truly a perfect plan to undermine. Soon after, Qin Fan and Lin Xingyan returned home and rested separately. In the following days, Lin Xingyan, buoyed by securing a major contract, enthusiastically went to the company to make arrangements for work. Moreover, she wanted to organize a company trip to reward everyone. As for Qin Fan, he naturally went to Villa No 1 where he refined the soul sculpting pill and also inspected the growth of that section of withered branches. There's no significant change, but the life energy within the withered branches is becoming denser. In a while, they should sprout. Qin Fan stood in front of the withered branches, his expression calm. He had never seen such withered branches even in the Qingxian star domain, so he was genuinely curious about what would grow from them. Suddenly, Qin Fan's phone rang, and he glanced to see that it was a call from Jiang Qingning. Xin Fan, where are you? Jiang Qingning inquired. I'm at the villa. Is there something you need? Xin Fan asked. My grandfather's friend wants to meet you. He's at my house right now. Jiang Qingning said. Your grandfather's friend? Who? Xin Fan asked with some curiosity. Jiang Qingning hesitated for a moment and then said, he's a former comrade in arms of my grandfather, now he's with the Jiangnan military department. The Jiang family initially rose to prominence due to their military background. At that time, they had earned various merits for killing enemies overseas before returning to Jiangcheng, which led to the establishment of the Jiang Group. Jiang Tianxiong had also served in the military department in his early years, so there were some connections and friends within the military. Someone from the Jiangnan military department? Xin Fan immediately remembered Kunlun, who had once come to his villa. What's the matter? I'm not sure, he just wants to meet you. Jiang Qingning said. Alright, it's fine to meet him. Xin Fan thought for a moment and then agreed. About an hour later, Xin Fan appeared at Jiang Tianxiong's house. Inside Jiang Tianxiong's villa, besides seeing Jiang Tianxiong and Jiang Qingning, there was also a middle-aged man in his 40s wearing military uniform. With a resolute appearance. Next to this man was a strikingly beautiful and spirited woman with a robust figure. This person, Xin Fan knew. She was the woman who had previously come to Lin Qingyan's villa to find him, codenamed Vermilion Bird. Master Qin, it's really troublesome for you to come over. Jiang Tianxiong, upon seeing Xin Fan, quickly got up to greet him. Xin Fan waved his hand, indicating no need for excessive courtesy. Then, Jiang Tianxiong sat back down and introduced Xin Fan. This is Colonel Geng, the Chief of Staff of the Jiangnan Military Department, and this is Wei Yuan from the Kunlun Special Forces, codenamed Vermilion Bird. The middle-aged man in military uniform, upon seeing Xin Fan, showed surprise and disbelief, then said, I never expected that the renowned Master Qin of Jiangnan would be so young. Truly, heroes emerge in their youth. Let's dispense with the pleasantries. What do you need from me? Xin Fan cut to the chase. We would like Master Qin's assistance this time, Colonel Geng said straightforwardly, seeing Xin Fan's frankness. Assistance? Please, go on, Xin Fan nodded. Master Qin, I've heard that your martial prowess is formidable, and you defeated Zhou Dajiang with a single punch. Is that true? Colonel Geng asked. Xin Fan looked at Jiang Tianxiong upon hearing this, and Jiang Tianxiong nodded slightly, speaking up, I've already told Colonel Geng about Master Qin's deeds. Since you've already inquired, there's no need to ask further. Besides, my strength has nothing to do with you, Xin Fan said lightly. Xin Fan, mind your tone, this gentleman here is a colonel. Wei Yuan, upon hearing Xin Fan's tone, became visibly displeased. What an attitude! Vermilion Bird, Colonel Geng called out. Wei Yuan then closed her mouth, looking somewhat sullen. At this point, Colonel Geng turned to Xin Fan and said, could you demonstrate your strength? Xin Fan smiled at the request, understanding that he needed to display some power to impress the military personnel. So, he raised his hand and struck the air towards the wall. Boom. A resounding noise echoed, and everyone saw a neat palm print over a meter in size appear on the distant wall. Jiang Tianxiong, naturally, wasn't surprised by this scene, as he had witnessed Xin Fan's punch. The other three, however, showed astonishment, especially Vermilion Bird Wei Yuan, who looked incredulous as she spoke, you're truly at the Grandmaster level. Not only that, Master Qin is at least at the Grandmaster perfection level. It seems his strength surpasses rumors. Colonel Geng withdrew his amazed gaze, then stood up and bowed to Xin Fan. So, what exactly do you want from me? Xin Fan asked. I would like to ask Master Qin to help train our Jiangnan Military Department's Special Forces. I formally invite you to be the chief instructor of the Jiangnan Kunlun, Colonel Geng said to Xin Fan. What is this about? Xin Fan was baffled. Not only Xin Fan but also Jiang Tianxiong and Jiang Qingning were bewildered. Seeing their reactions, Colonel Geng explained, the Xia Kingdom's military has a special force called Kunlun, which consists of elites selected from various military departments. The Jiangnan Military Department's Kunlun is the 8th Squad, codenamed Blade. This unit primarily deals with special incidents in the Jiangnan area, especially those caused by martial artists that threaten society. I'm aware of that. Blade consists of 8 members, led by the codename Kuanpeng. They mainly handle special incidents in Jiangnan caused by martial artists. What does this have to do with today's matter? Jiang Tianxiong asked. Colonel Geng's expression turned bitter, then he said, there are a total of 10 squads in Kunlun, and they hold a martial arts competition annually to rank the squads. Blade has ranked last for 5 consecutive years. Ah! Upon hearing this, Jiang Qingning couldn't help but burst into laughter, while Jiang Tianxiong was stunned. What's this? Last for 5 consecutive years? How weak can they be? Meanwhile, Vermilion Birdway Yuan sat there feeling extremely embarrassed due to this matter. General Su resigned half a year ago, so we've been searching for a suitable instructor, Colonel Gung continued. Then, he looked at Qin Fan and went on, about 2 months ago, the incident at the abandoned dock on the Jiangcheng riverside immediately caught my attention. So, I dispatched Vermilion Bird and Azure Wolf to investigate. Hearing this, both Qin Fan and Jiang Tianxiong understood. At that time, the Jiangnan military department had already set their sights on Qin Fan. Hence, they didn't intervene in the series of incidents in Jiangcheng but chose to keep an eye on them, to locate Qin Fan and confirm his strength. And now, they had come to see Qin Fan. But there's no use in involving me in this matter, Qin Fan immediately rejected after understanding the other party's intention. Master Qin, we are very sincere this to me as long as you agree, our superiors will personally come to see you, and then we can discuss any conditions, Colonel Gung hastily added. Hearing this, Jiang Tianxiong and Jiang Qingning were both shocked. The top brass of the Jiangnan military district personally coming over, and any conditions being negotiable, meant that the military was endorsing Qin Fan. This meant that not only Jiangnan, but even the Huahai side couldn't touch Qin Fan. It was like a huge pie delivered directly to Qin Fan's mouth. No matter how sincere you are, it's meaningless. You simply want me to train the Blade team members, but I don't know anything about military training, so it would be a waste of time for you to approach me, Qin Fan immediately refused. This refusal dumbfounded Jiang Tianxiong and Jiang Qingning. He actually refused? Mr. Qin, that's not the case. All military training will be handled by specialists. We only need you to teach martial arts and enhance their personal strength. Colonel Gung immediately explained, but I still can't do it, Qin Fan still refused. How could he, a cultivator, teach martial arts? Moreover, cultivation couldn't be rushed. Colonel Gung felt embarrassed, then looked at Jiang Tianxiong, hoping for his support. However, Jiang Tianxiong remained silent. Qin Fan's decision was unchangeable for him. By the way, Colonel Gung, if Blade is last, then who is first in the latest ranking? Jiang Qingning asked curiously. It's under General Xiao Zhangnan, from the Northwest Military District, Kunlun's first squad, codenamed Heavenly God, ranking first for 20 consecutive years. Colonel Gung said. 20 consecutive years. Jiang Qingning was dumbfounded. So, Xiao Zhangnan disappeared from public view because he entered the military, Jiang Tianxiong said. Xiao Zhangnan defeated the renowned Hu Weixinxing, becoming the top of the Earth list, and then joined the military. The Heavenly God squad is trained by him, and now he's a lieutenant general, Colonel Gung explained after speaking. He looked at Qin Fan again and said, Master Qin, if Blade ranks last again, it will be disbanded, and there will be no more Kunlun teams in Jiangnan. That's why our superiors are eager to invite you as the chief instructor. Pausing for a moment, Colonel Gung then continued, as long as Master Qin is willing to take on the role of chief instructor, you'll be promoted to major general. Hearing this, both Jiang Qingning and Jiang Tianxiong's eyes widened. Qin Fan was only 25 years old. A 25-year-old major general? This was an unlimited future. Think about it, Xiao Zhangnan defeated Hu Weixinxing, climbed to the top of the Earth list, leaving behind numerous legendary top-tier masters, or perhaps he's already a grandmaster by now. With such strength, he entered the military and trained the Heavenly God squad, and now he's a lieutenant general. Now Qin Fan, at 25, being promoted to Major General, would inevitably surpass the legendary figure Xiao Zhangnan in the future. Although Qin Fan made many big shots in Jiangnan bow down to him, compared to a military Major General, that meant nothing. I'll take note of this matter, and I'll consider it, Qin Fan stood up. Everyone understood that Qin Fan's words were a polite refusal. It's getting late, I'll take my leave. After saying that, Qin Fan left on his own, leaving behind a group of helpless people. Chapter 132, Losing a Billion. This scoundrel, previously so arrogant, now given such great respect, yet still refuses. He truly deserves a lesson, Zhu Ke exclaimed indignantly as Qin Fan approached. Whom do you wish to administer this lesson? Bu's hanging turned to Zhu Ke inquiringly. Zhu Ke was momentarily speechless, then silently retreated. He, a grandmaster at the pinnacle, facing a group from the bottom ranks of the Jiangnan military region, even a grandmaster would pale in comparison in attempting to teach others a lesson. One might just find themselves being taught instead. Colonel Bu, why did you not mention this matter earlier? Jiang Tianxiong cast a dissatisfied glance towards Bu's hanging. This is truly setting a trap for the Jiang family. Bu's hanging's embarrassment was palpable. I did not anticipate Master Qin's level of arrogance, but given his strength, such arrogance is to be expected. And how do you intend to proceed, Colonel Bu? It seems Qin Fan has no intention of acknowledging the chief instructor. Jiang Qingning inquired. Actions speak louder than words. I shall inform the higher-ups. There will be a solution. Bu's hanging sighed deeply. Jiang Qingning and the others could only acquiesce to this. Meanwhile, Qin Fan emerged in Lin Xingyan's old dilapidated car, already well past 8 o'clock in the evening. As for the matter raised by Bu's hanging, he had long since dismissed it from his mind. All these titles of a major general held no meaning for Qin Fan. His sole purpose was to comprehend the will of heaven. And now, he was just one step away from reaching the middle stage of the Yuan infant realm, which was his primary concern at the moment. Halting at a bustling intersection due to a red light, Qin Fan glanced out of the side window and caught sight of a magnificent building adorned with 7 dazzling characters, Splendid Era Nightclub. It seems like what Ning Rushuan gave me. I've never been there. Perhaps it's time to take a look. Qin Fan reminisced about the Splendid Era, suddenly inspired. Back when he visited Ning Rushuan, something happened, and afterward, she gifted him this Splendid Era nightclub. However, Qin Fan had yet to pay a visit. Let's go and see. I wonder who's managing it for me. Qin Fan pondered, changing direction toward the Splendid Era nightclub. Upon arriving at the entrance, Qin Fan spotted the mature and charming Ning Rushuan emerging from amidst a group of admirers. Master Qin, Ning Rushuan expressed surprise. Are you here to inspect the accounts? I've never been here since you gave it to me, so I thought I'd come and take a look, Qin Fan replied awkwardly. As the owner, he wouldn't have stepped in if it weren't for this chance encounter. Don't worry, I'm happy to assist Master Qin in any way, Ning Rushuan immediately reassured. Qin Fan nodded and then asked, how's everything going? Embezzling $1 billion. Chen Dui exclaimed with righteous indignation. Embezzling $1 billion? Qin Fan was somewhat astonished to hear this. Although he hadn't been actively managing the establishment, it was inconceivable that it could have incurred such a staggering loss, especially considering it was a veritable cash cow. It's the White Dragon Gang's doing. I only found out when I came to audit the accounts today, Ning Rushuan explained. The White Dragon Gang? What's going on? Qin Fan inquired immediately. Naturally, Qin Fan was familiar with the White Dragon Gang, having spent over a decade in Huahai, where their influence rivaled that of the Phoenix Pavilion, the city's foremost underground power, in his memory. In his recollection, a certain individual named Li Jiatan was the son of one of the gang's leaders, a commanding figure back during their university days. It's this guy. At this point, Chen Dui pulled a middle-aged man out from behind her. This swindler colluded with the White Dragon Gang and siphoned off $1 billion. Who is this individual? Qin Fan queried, looking at the middle-aged man, now ashen-faced. This man is called Lu Guoqiang, the general manager of the Splendid Era nightclub. Sister Xian also trusted him greatly. When the nightclub was handed over to Master Qin, he was still diligent and dedicated. However, Master Qin, due to your prolonged absence after taking over the nightclub, and with Sister Xian and I being hands-off, Lu Guoqiang began to have delusions of grandeur, thinking the place was his. Then, not long ago, people from the White Dragon Gang came to Jiang City and started meddling with the accounts in cahoots with this two-faced guy. If Sister Xian hadn't come tonight, I'm afraid in a few days, all the money would have been gone. Chen Dui recounted the sequence of events to Qin Fan. Sister Xian, I was foolish for a moment. Please spare me, I'll retrieve the money, Lu Guoqiang pleaded tearfully to Ning Rushuan. Daring to meddle with Master Qin's affairs, you might as well be dead, Ning Rushuan retorted coldly. Frowning at this revelation, Qin Fan realized that his absence might have emboldened others, but it didn't mean they had carte blanche to tamper with his possessions. Turning to Lu Guoqiang, he asked, where is Tang Jianming? He should have returned to Huahai City, Lu Guoqiang stammered nervously. Call him, Qin Fan ordered coldly. Trembling, Lu Guoqiang took out his phone and dialed Tang Jianming's number, then put it on speaker. Hey, Lu Ji, what's up? Came the jovial voice from the other end of the line. I heard you took $1 billion from the Splendid Era nightclub, Qin Fan cut straight to the chase. Who's this? Tang Jianming's tone immediately sobered upon hearing Qin Fan's voice. I'm Qin Fan, the owner of the Splendid Era nightclub, Qin Fan stated plainly. Oh, so you're the big boss Qin, Tang Jianming chuckled upon hearing Qin Fan's words, then sarcastically remarked, Boss Qin, are you calling to ask for that billion back? Really now, are you? Ning Rushuan and Chen Dui's expressions soured upon hearing Tang Jianming's insolent words. This was mockery. Yes, I'm asking for that billion back, Qin Fan replied calmly. Boss Qin, it's just $1 billion, why don't you consider it a gift to me? Tang Jianming laughed again. When the White Dragon Gang fully establishes itself in Jiang City, I can even put in a good word for you, give you a walkthrough. No need, I want that billion, Qin Fan said expressionlessly upon hearing this. TSK, Boss Qin, if you really want it, why don't you come in person? I'm in Huahai City, in the Jinyang Villa area, waiting for you. As long as you come, I'll have everything prepared for you, Tang Jianming mocked. Fine, Qin Fan replied, then hung up the phone, turning to Lu Guoqiang with an impassive expression. Tell me everything about him. Lu Guoqiang immediately provided Qin Fan with Tang Jianming's information. Master Qin, Tang Jianming is from the White Dragon Gang. It's very dangerous for you to go alone. Let me gather some people to accompany you, Ning Rushuan immediately said to Qin Fan. No need, Qin Fan replied curtly. With that, Qin Fan leaped into the air, disappearing into the vast night sky. Ning Rushuan and the others were dumbfounded. Could this person actually fly? What kind of joke was this? They knew about grandmasters and great grandmasters, but they had never heard of anyone who could fly. Was he an immortal? With such an immortal, could the White Dragon Gang survive? Chapter 133, Here I Am. Meanwhile, in the living room of a luxurious villa in a high-end residential area of Huahai, Tang Jianming put down his phone, a smirk playing on his lips. Damn, I was planning to swindle a few more billion, but that Lu Guoqiang turned out to be useless. No need to fret, this is just an appetizer. Once Wang Shao and the White Dragon Gang officially enter Jiang City, all that wealth will be ours for the taking. Another man seated opposite him chuckled heartily. This man's laughter was robust and full of vitality. He was a martial artist at the innate level, a member of the third hall of the White Dragon Gang. Lei Bo, do you think that guy named Qin will come demanding money? Tang Jianming lit a cigarette, exhaling a faint smoke ring as he asked casually. Come? Lei Bo couldn't help but laugh, then replied, how many people are guarding around your villa? Not many, just 20, all armed, Tang Jianming chuckled lightly, flicking ash from his cigarette. You've prepared quite a few people, Lei Bo laughed at the revelation. No choice, in the White Dragon Gang, you need this many people. So, while I plan to make a fortune in Jiang City, I never expected to lose $1 billion so quickly. What a pity, Tang Jianming lamented, stubbing out his cigarette. Ha, Lei Bo burst into laughter. So, I wonder how that guy named Qin Fan dares to demand the money from you. Does he really dare to come here and ask for it? Even if he does come, it'll be tomorrow. Huahai City is 500 kilometers away from Jiang City, Tang Jianming laughed incredulously. Coming here to ask him for money? This was Huahai, the territory of the White Dragon Gang. Coming here would be seeking death. I actually hope this Qin Fan comes to Huahai. Then, we can make a profit. He'll probably have a good relationship with Ning Rushuan, being the owner of the Splendid Era nightclub. Once we capture him, we can extort even more, Lei Bo mocked. Ha, well said. Now, I really hope that guy named Qin Fan will come, Tang Jianming laughed heartily. Here I am. At the precise moment Tang Jianming's words fell, a faint voice suddenly echoed. Instantly, both Lei Bo and Tang Jianming's expressions changed, as they turned to look towards the adjacent sofa. Seated there was a young man, appearing out of nowhere. Who are you? Tang Jianming rose abruptly, glaring at Qin Fan. I am Qin Fan. I've come to collect the money, Qin Fan replied casually, leaning back on the sofa. How is that possible? How did you get in here? And Jiang City is 500 kilometers away from here. Even with a racing car, it would take 2 hours. Tang Jianming couldn't believe it, immediately protesting. I flew here. It took me 10 minutes, Qin Fan replied nonchalantly. Flew here? Tang Jianming was momentarily stunned, then looked at Qin Fan as if he were a lunatic. Indeed, Qin Fan, with his cultivation in the Yuan infant realm, had flown from Jiang City to Huahai City, spending 5 minutes in transit and another 5 minutes using his divine consciousness to locate this place in Huahai. This kid is not right. How did he get in? Why didn't I sense anything? Lei Bo reminded Tang Jianming. Guards! Tang Jianming shouted loudly. In the next moment, hurried footsteps could be heard, and 20 burly men armed with guns rushed in. Tang boss, what's wrong? The leader of the group asked as he rushed in. How did he get in? Are all of you blind? Tang Jianming demanded sternly. These men looked at Xin Fan, who still sat on the sofa with a smile, utterly bewildered. How did this kid get in? Just a moment ago, all 20 of them were keeping watch outside, yet they didn't see anyone come in. Don't just stand there, take action. Tang Jianming shouted. At his command, the men raised their dark guns, their muzzles aimed menacingly at Xin Fan. Xin Fan raised a finger, then lightly drew a line in the air. Then those who aimed their guns at Xin Fan seemed to vanish as if erased by an eraser, their bodies rapidly disappearing into a mist of blood and bones, leaving no trace behind, while the dark long spears fell to the ground with a clatter. Xin Fan, at this moment, didn't even need to employ his divine abilities, he merely utilized the condensed malevolent aura, causing these mortals to perish upon contact with it. Lei Bo and Tang Jianming stood frozen in place. Neither of them comprehended what had transpired, why everyone had perished, and moreover, why they had perished so completely. Meanwhile, the young man opposite them seemed to have casually gestured. I'm here. Where's the money? Xin Fan leaned back on the sofa, speaking casually. Lei Bo and Tang Jianming reacted upon hearing the voice and immediately turned to flee. However, Xin Fan reached out into the air, and in an instant, the two were lifted into the air, only to crash down at Xin Fan's feet with a thud. Wasn't everything supposed to be prepared properly when I arrived? Where's the money? Xin Fan looked down at the two. The two men cowered on the ground, trembling all over, not daring to lift their heads. I'll return the 1 billion to you right away. Tang Jianming groveled on the ground. I spent 10 minutes coming here. Interest needs to be calculated. It totals to 100 billion. Xin Fan spoke indifferently. 100 billion? Two don't have 100 billion. Tang Jianming looked up, horrified, at Xin Fan. Are you saying you won't pay? Xin Fan looked at Tang Jianming and spoke. I can't come up with it. Tang Jianming trembled as he spoke. Even after careful calculation, he only had 1 billion. Where would he get 100 billion? Then you're as good as dead. Xin Fan spoke lightly. As he spoke, he pointed his index finger into the air. Tang Jianming, like those before him, vanished into thin air as if erased by an eraser, his body swiftly dissipating into a mist of blood. Lei Bo, at this moment, had already realized that the man opposite was truly killing with just a casual finger movement. This method was something a human could never achieve. The person before him was simply not human. Please spare me, sir. The money has nothing to do with me. I haven't touched a single penny. Lei Bo knelt on the ground, beginning to plead. Didn't you just say you were going to tie me up and demand money from Ning Rushuan? Xin Fan spoke casually. Lei Bo froze at the words, raising his head slightly, looking at Xin Fan in terror. Don't doubt it. I've been with you two since the middle of your conversation. You just didn't notice. Xin Fan said casually. By the time these two were halfway through their conversation, Xin Fan had already arrived. With his cultivation at the Yuanying stage, it was too easy for him to remain undetected by these two mortals. Lei Bo didn't know what else to say and could only stutter. At that moment, Lei Bo's phone rang. Lei Bo looked at Xin Fan. Answer it. Xin Fan said. Lei Bo tremblingly answered the phone, and then a voice came through. Are you with Tang Jianming? Hall Master, yes. Yes, I'm with Tang Jianming. Lei Bo's voice trembled as he spoke. What's going on? What's wrong with your speech? The other side asked. Hall Master, please help, please help. Someone formidable has come here. Tang Jianming is already dead. Lei Bo shouted suddenly. After shouting, Lei Bo felt completely exhausted, then collapsed on the ground, gasping for air frantically. Hearing Lei Bo's plea, the voice on the other end of the phone calmed down, then said, let me talk to him. Xin Fan took the phone. Listen carefully, I'm Gong Hao, the third Hall Master of the White Dragon Gang. I don't care who you are. Release Lei Bo now, then come over and kowtow to me in apology. I might spare your life. A cold voice came from the phone. Okay, tell me where you are. Xin Fan smiled faintly. Chapter 134, Continuing to Summon. Huahai, Cloud Summit Club. Located in the southern district of Huahai City, Cloud Summit Club occupies an area of over 5,000 square meters. It stands as one of the top clubs in Huahai City, backed by the White Dragon Gang, serving as the headquarters for the third and fourth halls of the gang. Inside a luxurious hall, Gong Hao, the third hall master of the White Dragon Gang, abruptly hung up his phone and then tossed it onto the sofa. What's wrong? Suddenly, a seductive voice sounded behind Gong Hao. A stunningly beautiful woman, swaying her hips, walked to the opposite side of Gong Hao, poured a glass of red wine on the table, and handed it to him with a smile, asking, "Why are you angry after making a phone call? Who has upset you?" This woman was Yuan Shihua, the fourth hall master of the White Dragon Gang, and she was Gong Hao's mistress. The two cooperated within the White Dragon Gang, controlling thousands of subordinates within the gang. "I just called Tang Jianming to ask about his business in Jiangcheng." Gong Hao looked gently at Yuan Shihua. "Tang Jianming didn't answer your call?" Yuan Shihua asked. Lei Bo answered the phone and said Tang Jianming was killed. "I just spoke to the person who killed Tang Jianming," Gong Hao said. "Tang Jianming was killed? In Huahai?" Yuan Shihua's face changed slightly at the news, showing surprise. "Yes, I don't know if it's true or not. I've already told that person to come over," Gong Hao said solemnly. "Who is this person? Daring to kill someone in Huahai City? I'm really curious." Yuan Shihua smiled seductively. "This is Huahai City after all. The White Dragon Gang is the underground emperor of Huahai City. Those families would still give White Dragon Gang some face." He said his name is Xin Fan, from Jiangcheng, here to collect debts, Gong Hao said. "Xin Fan? Who is he?" Yuan Shihua asked in confusion. "I don't know. Probably a hitman sent by some big shot in Jiangnan who got cheated out of money by Tang Jianming," Gong Hao said. Yuan Shihua nodded in agreement. Then she spoke, "By the way, speaking of Jiangnan, I've heard of a Master Qin emerging there." "I've heard of him too. But he's just a figure pushed forward by the people of Jiangnan. Placed in Huahai, he's just a country bumpkin, nothing to fear," Gong Hao replied, raising a glass of red wine and taking a sip. Yuan Shihua also picked up a glass of wine and asked, "When will Wang Xiao return?" "Not sure, but it should be soon. After all, Wang Xiao wants the Wang family to unify Jiangnan. If he doesn't come back, this matter won't progress," Gong Hao said. Upon hearing this, Yuan Shihua smiled seductively. "Once the Wang family unifies Jiangnan, our White Dragon Gang can gain a lot of benefits in Jiangnan. I've been waiting for this fat piece of meat for a long time. Cheers." Gong Hao chuckled at the words and immediately raised his glass. "Cheers." Yuan Shihua also smiled coquettishly and said, "Cheers." Thud thud thud. Suddenly, a loud noise came from outside. "What's going on? Lin Dahai!" Gong Hao heard the noise outside and became angry, shouting impatiently. He didn't bother to think much. This was the headquarters of the third and fourth halls of the White Dragon Gang, gathering many elites of the gang. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that half of the gang's elite members were here, armed with guns. Among them, there were over 100 martial artists, and the person he called Lin Dahai was a martial artist at the peak of the innate realm. With so many elites here, what could possibly happen? These people always love causing trouble after drinking, often getting into fights, and even often injuring a few girls under my command. You should discipline them. Yuan Shihua, hearing the noise, also spoke impatiently. "I know," Gong Hao replied impatiently, preparing to get up to discipline his subordinates. However, at this moment, the door was pushed open. Xin Fan walked in leisurely. Gong Hao and Yuan Shihua looked at Xin Fan in astonishment. After Xin Fan came in, he casually walked to the leather sofa and sat down. After sitting down, he looked at the bottle of wine on the table, picked it up, poured himself a glass, and took a sip. Throughout this, Gong Hao and Yuan Shihua did not stop him, choosing instead to watch quietly. People from the White Dragon Gang never acted recklessly, they were cautious. Walking in from outside, one needed to face many elites here, even Lin Dahai. Although the two sides didn't know each other, the fact that Xin Fan could walk in without being stopped meant he had a considerable background. So, the two chose to watch for now, to see the situation clearly before making a move. the taste is quite good. Xin Fan took a sip and swirled the wineglass. This is an 82 Lafite, naturally good. This gentleman, may I ask who you are? Yuan Shihua asked with a smile. You called me here, yet you don't know who I am? Xin Fan chuckled in response. Yuan Shihua was momentarily stunned and looked at Gong Hao. Are you Xin Fan? Gong Hao frowned at Xin Fan. Yes. Xin Fan nodded. Upon hearing this answer, the two became somewhat puzzled. How did Xin Fan get in, and why didn't anyone stop him outside? According to reason, anyone with an unknown background would undoubtedly be stopped outside. Linda Hai! Gong Hao immediately shouted at the door, thinking of these things. However, there was no response from outside. In an instant, Gong Hao and Yuan Shihua's heart sank, knowing something was wrong. No need to shout. Those people are all dead. Xin Fan spoke lightly. All dead? Did you do it alone? Gong Hao squinted at Xin Fan and asked. Isn't one person enough? Xin Fan responded. What's your background? Gong Hao stared at Xin Fan and asked. While speaking, he nudged Yuan Shihua with his arm. Yuan Shihua understood immediately. This was his signal for her to call for help. How could the other party kill all those elites alone? He must be boasting. There must be many people accompanying him outside. Gong Hao needed to clarify the situation and summon reinforcements. I've said it, I'm Xin Fan, from Jiangqing. Xin Fan smiled and replied. Forgive my ignorance. I've never heard of Mr. Xin's name. Gong Hao continued, seemingly trying to stall for time. I'm known as Master Xin in Jiangnan. Xin Fan responded. I didn't expect you to be Master Xin. Gong Hao was slightly surprised, then sneered, I thought you were from the Xin family in Beijing. He had just heard Xin Fan's name, and Xin Fan had come here so brazenly. Gong Hao felt that since this Xin surname was mentioned, could he be from the Xin family in Beijing? Unfortunately, not only was he not, but he turned out to be the Master Xin they were prepared to deal with. The Xin family in Beijing has nothing to do with me. Xin Fan laughed. Master Xin from Jiangnan, we planned to meet you when we entered Jiangcheng. I didn't expect you to come to us tonight. That really saves me a lot of trouble. Gong Hao's face suddenly turned fierce. Immediately, he stomped on the ground, and a powerful force erupted. Cracks appeared on the ground like a spider web, and then, he shot towards Xin Fan. The White Dragon Gang's position as the top underground force in a big city like Huahai wasn't only because of their numbers and financial resources but also their strength. Each of the 5 halls of the White Dragon Gang had martial artists at the innate realm, and their helper Rong Zhangyuan was even ranked 76th on the Earth ranking as a Grandmaster realm expert. Gong Hao himself was at the peak of the innate realm, highly likely to step into the Grandmaster realm, a martial arts expert of extraordinary strength. Die! Gong Hao shouted angrily, throwing a punch at Xin Fan's vital point. Boom! The punch whistled through the air, vigorous and forceful, even causing a sonic boom. However, faced with this punch, Xin Fan lightly tapped his finger on the wineglass in his hand. Drip! A drop of wine splashed out from the glass. Then, it turned into a red light, piercing through the center of Gong Hao's eyebrows like a sword. At the moment of penetration, the red light spread through Gong Hao's body like wisps of light, and wherever the wine spread, Gong Hao's body disappeared. In just a moment, Gong Hao's body vanished into thin air, turning into a puddle of blood mist. Snap! At this moment, Yuan Shihua, who was hiding on the side, dropped her phone, which fell to the ground. She looked at Xin Fan in horror. It's okay. Continue calling for reinforcements. I'm waiting. Xin Fan raised his glass, making a toasting gesture. Chapter 135, You are quite lovely. Yuan Shihua maintained the posture of holding the phone, gazing at Xin Fan, with only fear on her face. A drop of red wine could kill, and even though Yuan Shihua was a martial artist at the pinnacle of the innate realm, she had never seen such a thing before. Go, pick up the phone, call all the people that the White Dragon Gang can muster. I'll take care of everything to avoid unnecessary trouble, said Xin Fan, looking at the frightened Yuan Shihua as he took a sip of red wine and leaned back on the genuine leather sofa. Speaking lightly, the White Dragon Gang was about to enter Jiangcheng, infiltrating the underground of Jiangnan. Once they entered Jiangcheng, it would surely bring trouble to him. Moreover, the White Dragon Gang was not as easy to deal with as the various cities in Jiangnan. What he did tonight, the White Dragon Gang would not let it slide. So it was better to cut off all future troubles now. This had always been his style of doing things in the cultivation world. Because of his transformation, he had restrained himself too much. Since he had come here tonight with the cultivation base of the nascent infant realm, he might as well act like a cultivator once again. Upon hearing this, Yuan Shurawa's breath quickened. Despite her fear, she still picked up the phone and dialed repeatedly. The content of the call was straightforward. Master Qin of Jiangnan was at the Cloud Pavilion Club and wished to meet with members of the White Dragon Gang. They are coming immediately. After Yuan Shihua finished the call, her voice trembled slightly. She didn't even know if making the call was the right decision. The methods Qin Fan had just displayed were simply inhuman. Could the people of the White Dragon Gang really withstand such methods? As time passed, about half an hour later, footsteps could be heard outside the door. Then, a group of people walked in. At the forefront was a man who appeared to be around 50 years old, with a lean figure and an aura as deep as an abyss. This man was none other than Rongjang Yuan, the first hallmaster and leader of the White Dragon Gang, a martial artist at the level of a Grandmaster Realm minor achievement. Behind him were a man and a woman, both of whom possessed the formidable strength of the perfected innate realm. The man, in his 40s, was named Li Chengfeng, the second hallmaster of the White Dragon Gang, while the woman, of average appearance and around the same age, with a fuller figure that appeared more mature than Yuan Shihua, was the third hallmaster of the White Dragon Gang, Guan Meihong. With Gong Hao and Yuan Shihua included, these 5 individuals would be more than capable of dominating in the Jiangnan region. As for the lackeys following these 3, they were hardly worth mentioning. Upon Rongjang Yuan's entrance, his gaze fell immediately upon Qin Fan and the silently standing Yuan Shihua. He then loudly addressed Yuan Shihua, Hall Master Yuan, is this the Jiangnan Master Qin you mentioned? Yes. Yes, Yuan Shihua said through gritted teeth, struggling to speak. Yuan Shihua, where's Gong Hao? Guan Meihong looked at Yuan Shihua with a playful expression. Yeah, where's Gong Hao? Why isn't he here? And where are the others? Li Chengfeng also inquired. They're dead, all dead. They were all killed by Master Qin, Yuan Shihua spoke up, he. Guan Meihong couldn't help but laugh lightly upon hearing Yuan Shihua's words. Her graceful laughter caused her voluptuous body to tremble, especially her snow-white chest, which dazzled those around her. Yuan Shihua, are you joking? This is your main stronghold, where the elites of our gang are gathered. Are you saying they're dead now? Moreover, Gong Hao is your man. He's dead, and the enemy is right here. Aren't you going to take action? Guan Meihong spoke with a smile. With this remark, the others also burst into laughter. Yuan Shihua's expression turned grim. Gong Hao was dead. What could she do? Seek revenge? She'd be crushed with a flick of the enemy's finger. What use was seeking revenge? You say they're all dead, but where are the bodies? There's not even a corpse. Don't tell me that not only were these people killed by this kid, but Master Qin here also erased all evidence? Rongjang Yuan asked casually. Yeah, with so many people, so many bodies, all completely wiped out, not even a drop of blood left. Does this Master Qin mop the floor too? Do you take us for fools? Li Chengfeng couldn't help but laugh and speak. You're absolutely right. I've erased all of them. Not a trace of the bodies remains, not even a single bloodstain, Qin Fan said. At this, Rongjang Yuan and the others laughed even more exaggeratedly. To them, Qin Fan in front of them emitted not even a hint of martial aura. And he claimed to have killed everyone, leaving no trace of bodies or bloodstains. It was too ridiculous. Look! At this moment, Qin Fan's voice rang out. With that, he raised the glass in his hand and sprinkled the red wine forward. The spilled wine instantly turned into streams of red light, falling onto the lackeys. They were instantly shrouded in a red aura, then their bodies rapidly disappeared, turning into blood mist, and then dissipating into nothingness. In an instant, the entire room fell into silence. What's wrong? Why aren't you laughing now? Qin Fan chuckled lightly. A smile makes you 10 years younger, so keep laughing. Now, with a faint smile on Qin Fan's face, to Rongjang Yuan and the others, he seemed more like a devil than a human. No, he was even more terrifying than a devil. What kind of method was that? Sprinkling a glass of wine and making all those lackeys vanish? Gulp! At this moment, Qin Fan picked up the bottle of red wine on the table and poured himself another glass. Rong Zhengyuan and the others quickly moved away from him, putting some distance between them and Qin Fan. So, you're a master of Taoist arts. Not only that, you're also skilled in unorthodox and occult practices. Rong Zhengyuan suddenly spoke. What do you mean, boss? Li Chengfeng asked Rong Zhengyuan. In this world, there's not only martial arts but also Taoist arts. Taoist arts are even more elusive and unpredictable than martial arts. There are witchcraft, sorcery, curses. Among them, witchcraft or curses can achieve everything you did just now in unexpected circumstances. However, occult practices are still occult practices. If you had directly attacked us without warning, catching us off guard, we might have really fallen victim to it. Unfortunately, just now, you intended to use such means to intimidate us, but it's already been seen through by me. Once seen through and guarded against, your occult practices are meaningless to us powerful martial artists. Rong Zhengyuan stared at Qin Fan and spoke. Rong Zhengyuan's words suddenly made the others realize. You truly are wise, boss. Guan Meihong chuckled lightly. Wise indeed, boss. Li Chengfeng also laughed heartily. Yuan Shihua, awakened by Rong Zhengyuan's words, immediately shouted, Boss, kill this man and avenge Gong Hao. Before, she was afraid of Qin Fan's unknown methods, but now Rong Zhengyuan's words had enlightened her. As long as she was aware and prepared, Qin Fan's methods were nothing to worry about immediately. A martial arts master and 3 perfected innate realm martial artists circulated their true qi, emitting a powerful and intimidating aura. Qin Fan looked at their reactions and couldn't help but laugh. You are truly adorable. Chapter 136, Except Being Dogs. You are truly adorable. Qin Fan spoke, and with a grasp of his right hand, Rong Zhengyuan immediately felt a powerful force, causing his body to uncontrollably fly into Qin Fan's hand. He was then grabbed by the neck, lifted up like a chick. In an instant, all of Rong Zhengyuan's breath dissipated, his face filled with fear as he looked at Qin Fan. The others were immediately at a loss. After all, Rong Zhengyuan was no ordinary person. He was the leader of the White Dragon Gang, ranked 76th on the earthly ranking, a martial arts master. The only ones within Huahai City who could defeat him were the reclusive Fu Baishao and the patriarch of the Wang family, and yet, he was now being held in someone's hand like a chicken. And what was that just now? Capturing someone in mid-air. That was a skill only grandmasters possessed, right? Was this person a grandmaster? Master Qin, have mercy, Rong Zhengyuan trembled, beginning to plead. If you wish to live, it's not impossible. Qin Fan casually tossed Rong Zhengyuan to the ground. Master Qin, what do you mean? Rong Zhengyuan, being the leader of the White Dragon Gang, immediately stabilized his emotions and respectfully inquired. As for the other 3, they could only stand there dumbfounded, not daring to speak. The other party was a grandmaster, and they were nothing but ants. If you want to live, be my dogs. If not, I'll send you to meet the King of Hell. You can choose. Qin Fan leaned back on the sofa and spoke. Qin Fan had no influence in Huahai. He had come tonight with the intention of wiping out the White Dragon Gang. However, considering taking them in as his dogs seemed like a good choice. Now that the Wang family was said to be gathering forces in Jiangnan, rather than waiting for conflict with them, it was better to take the initiative to gather power in Huahai. Isn't the saying, Wang Shao, your house has been robbed? Upon hearing Qin Fan's words, Rong Zhengyuan and the others fell silent. The 4 of them were prominent figures within Huahai City. Now, being asked to be dogs was simply too insulting. So naturally, they were unwilling to be Qin Fan's dogs. You killed my man and now you want me to be your dog, Master Qin, you've gone too far, Yuan Shihua suddenly spoke up. Oh. Qin Fan looked at Yuan Shihua. Yuan Shihua's scalp tingled under Qin Fan's gaze. Suddenly, his right hand reached out, and her body floated into the air. Rong Zhengyuan and the other 3 watched this scene with horror. Capturing someone in mid-air, and now suspending Yuan Shihua in mid-air, this was definitely a grandmaster. Yuan Shihua struggled in the air, her eyes filled with fear as she looked at Qin Fan. Qin Fan then spoke in a calm tone, I never prevent others from speaking, and if what they say makes sense, I'll listen. But if it's nonsense? At this point, Qin Fan paused, and Yuan Shihua's body suddenly expanded. Bang! A burst of sound echoed as Yuan Shihua's body exploded, flesh and blood splattering, and internal organs spraying onto Rong Zhengyuan and the others. Ah! Guan Meihong let out a piercing scream, trembling all over, frantically wiping off the flesh and blood splattered on her body. Her eyes were filled with fear. Meanwhile, Rong Zhengyuan and Li Chengfeng, their faces pale with terror, were equally filled with fear towards Qin Fan. So, if you have any objections to what I said just now, feel free to speak up. Qin Fan spoke lightly this time. Bang! 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 3 consecutive sounds echoed as Rong Zhengyuan, Li Chengfeng, and Guan Meihong immediately knelt down, repeatedly kowtowing to Qin Fan, trembling as they said, "I'm willing to serve Master Qin as a dog. I'm willing to serve Master Qin as a dog." Being treated like bursting balloons was too shocking, leaving the 3 of them with no spirit. Moreover, this was absolutely not taking human life seriously, casually killing people. If they didn't kneel down now, the next to die would be them. Qin Fan nodded at their response and then flicked his finger. Instantly, his divine sense shot into the foreheads of the 3. They felt a mysterious force entering their minds. Trembling, they looked up at Qin Fan with inexplicable expressions. "I've placed a restriction on you. If you have any thoughts of betrayal, you'll end up like Yuan Shihua," Qin Fan said. "We absolutely won't have any thoughts of betrayal," the 3 quickly responded. Qin Fan nodded in satisfaction. "Now, I'll ask you some questions. Master Qin, please speak." Rong Zhengyuan had completely turned into a lackey. "Tell me about the Wang family. How do they plan to unify Jiangnan?" Qin Fan asked leisurely. Rong Zhengyuan hesitated for a moment, not knowing how to respond. "Speak up," Qin Fan urged. In the beginning, the Wang family intended to subdue Jiangnan one by one after entering. However, after receiving news of Master Qin's punch that killed Zhou Zhang, many forces in Jiangnan bowed their heads in submission. So, Wang Tianyi's idea is to make you kneel. Rong Zhengyuan then timidly recounted the Wang family's plan. Qin Fan couldn't help but laugh. But he didn't think Wang Tianyi's idea was wrong. Capture the ringleader first. Now that Jiangnan was at his mercy, as long as he made him kneel, the whole of Jiangnan would belong to the Wang family. However, their calculations were too naive. Understood, Qin Fan responded and then casually gave some instructions before leaving. He had come here tonight purely because someone took something from him and mocked him, so he had to take action. However, things unexpectedly fell into place, so he casually took over the White Dragon Gang. But he didn't take the White Dragon Gang seriously either. After Qin Fan left, Rong Zhengyuan and the others finally got up. At this moment, their faces were as ugly as they could be. They hadn't figured out how tonight's events had started. It was just a call from Yuan Shihua saying that Master Qin from Jiangnan wanted to meet. Their first thought was to come here and show some dominance to Master Qin. As a result, they became Master Qin's lackeys. Who could endure this? "Boss, what he said just now, is it true that we'll end up like Yuan Shihua if we have any thoughts of betrayal?" Li Chengfeng asked. "Master Qin is unfathomable, and his methods are unpredictable. I'd rather believe he has it than not," Rong Zhengyuan said solemnly. Li Chengfeng fell silent immediately. "Boss, now we become Master Qin's dogs in Jiangnan. If the people from the Wang family find out, we're betraying them. We won't have a good end," Guan Meihong said anxiously. "The Wang family?" Rong Zhengyuan's face turned ugly at the mention. The White Dragon Gang was originally supported by the Wang family. But now, it had become Master Qin's dog. The Wang family's backyard had been dug up by others. "Well, do you think the Wang family has a chance of winning against Master Qin?" Rong Zhengyuan asked. Chapter 137, Hometown. Upon hearing the words, Li Chengfeng and Guan Meihong fell into contemplation. If the Wang family receives full support from the Xianling sect, Master Qin will surely have no chance of success. However, it is impossible for the Xianling sect to fully support the Wang family at present, Li Chengfeng remarked. Indeed, the Wang family's supposed reliance on the Xianling sect is merely a facade. The Xianling sect cannot fully assist the Wang family, Rong Zhengyuan interjected. So, it means the Wang family has no chance against Master Qin, Guan Meihong responded. Not necessarily, Rong Zhengyuan countered. What do you mean, chief? Both of them were puzzled. The Wang family still has another reliance, which is the Huatian sect. Currently, there is deep enmity between Master Qin and the Huatian sect. In fact, Huatian Xing became a grandmaster 5 years ago. However, he obtained a profound technique and has been in seclusion for cultivation. If Hua Tianxing personally intervenes, the outcome is unpredictable, Rong Zhengyuan explained. Upon hearing this, their expressions slightly changed. A grandmaster, a figure capable of rivaling a small nation alone. Not to mention the former top-ranked Hua Tianxing. Thus, the depth of Hua Tianxing's power was truly unfathomable. If he were to come to Xia Kingdom, could Master Qin really hold his ground? So, we should not concern ourselves with Master Qin. Li Chengfeng declared foolish. The outcome is still uncertain, and he has left his mark on us. Betraying him now would be suicidal. You've seen it yourself, he never shows mercy, Rong Zhengyuan cautioned. It's truly unfortunate. Previously, when the Wang family, Yuan, and Shi families approached us, we talked about cooperation. Yet, this Master Qin comes along and treats us like dogs. Guan Meihong exclaimed angrily. Let's go see Master Yan first and verify whether the measures he left us are genuine. If it's just a scare tactic, then it's manageable, Rong Zhengyuan suggested. On the other side. After leaving the Cloud Summit Club, it was past 9 in the evening. In Jiangcheng, it was only 7, so within this short span of 2 hours, the underground forces of Bai Long Gang and Huahai City had become Master Qin's lackeys. If this news spread, perhaps no one would believe it after leaving the Cloud Summit Club. Instead of immediately returning to Jiangcheng, Qin Fan hailed a taxi. Half an hour later, the taxi brought Qin Fan to an old dilapidated residential area. With the booming economy of Huahai City, such neighborhoods were rare. Approaching, one could see the characters for demolition written on the walls. It's slated for demolition. Fortunately, I came. Observing the demolition notice, Qin Fan muttered to himself and entered. This neighborhood was where Qin Fan had lived with his foster mother for over a decade. After his foster mother passed away, Qin Fan went to university and rarely returned. Especially after graduating, Qin Fan went directly to Jiangcheng and hadn't returned since. This time, Qin Fan unexpectedly came to Huahai, so he decided to make a special trip. Entering the neighborhood, he noticed fewer demolition notices, indicating the impending demolition. The process of demolition had begun when Qin Fan still lived here, but it was delayed due to a few holdout households now. It seemed that the demolition was imminent. Upon entering the neighborhood, Qin Fan saw that many lights were still on in some houses, some families hadn't moved out yet. Following his memory, Qin Fan quickly arrived at his former residence, finding the door locked. He touched it and realized he didn't have the key, so he quietly employed a spell, and the door opened. Upon entering, Qin Fan turned on the lights. The house consisted of 2 bedrooms, a living room, and a bathroom, a small house. Everything inside remained the same as he remembered, albeit covered in a thick layer of dust. Is there a presence here? Has someone been here? Qin Fan walked in and furrowed his brow after scanning the room. Inside, he sensed a lingering human presence, which puzzled him. According to his memory, his foster mother had no relatives or friends, and she rarely ventured outside. Especially when she passed away, only neighbors came to offer condolences. There were no friends or relatives to speak of, to the point where they couldn't even gather a table for the feast, so, besides Qin Fan, there couldn't possibly be anyone else in the house. Glancing around, Qin Fan noticed traces of disturbed dust and residual scents, indicating that someone had left not long ago. What's more, this person had used a key to enter, which surprised Qin Fan even more. The key to this house belonged solely to Qin Fan. What a coincidence, Qin Fan shook his head and then proceeded into his room. Here it is. Qin Fan retrieved a box from under the bed and opened it. This is Yu Sui. Upon opening it, Qin Fan revealed a look of astonishment. Inside the box lay a piece of jade pendant, about half the size of a palm. The quality of the jade was exceptional, exuding a faint spiritual aura. Yu Sui, a truly superior jade, far surpassing the preciousness of the piece worn by Xiang Shui. With Yu Sui, one could craft a golden core level magical tool. A golden core level magical tool would likely be invincible in Xia Kingdom. Qin Fan picked up the jade pendant, observing the Qin character on the front and the Fan character on the back, the origin of his name. My final wish is to find my true parents, Qin Fan murmured as he held the jade pendant. Upon arriving on Earth, he encountered the original owner who perished after falling off a cliff. Through soul searching, he gained all the memories and inherited one obsession from Qin Fan, to uncover his true identity, to find his biological parents, and to ask them why they abandoned him. Qin Fan decided to keep the jade pendant close to him, planning to refine it into a magical tool upon his return. After tidying up, Xin Fan prepared to leave. However, at that moment, he sensed hurried footsteps outside, approaching his house. He paused. Soon, the door was pushed open, and a booming voice followed. "Xin Fan, are you back?" Hearing the voice, Xin Fan stepped out of the room and saw a man of the same age, somewhat robust in stature. Upon seeing Xin Fan, the man ran over and threw a punch at Xin Fan's chest, albeit lightly, then said, "Damn, I saw the lights on here, and it had to be you." Xin Fan smiled upon seeing him. Junjie. Shin Junjie was one of Xin Fan's playmates here, and they had been classmates from elementary to high school, forming a close bond. However, after high school, Xin Fan went to university in Huahai, while Shin Junjie went elsewhere, reducing their contact. After Xin Fan graduated and went to Jiangcheng, their contact became even less frequent. "Damn, I thought you forgot about me." Junjie chuckled upon hearing Xin Fan call his name. "You've been gone for years, no visits or calls, I thought you were dead." Xin Fan wanted to say he might as well have been. "I've been in Jiangcheng the whole time, too busy to come back," Xin Fan replied. "Too busy to come back, but you could have at least contacted us, your buddies," Shin Junjie said. "But we had no means of contact," Xin Fan replied. "You, really?" Shin Junjie shook his head, then said, "Come on, tonight is too coincidental. Let's go, I'll take you to meet the others." Chapter 138, Childhood Playmates. Xin Fan and Shin Junjie descended the stairs, chatting and laughing as they approached a Mercedes-Benz. "Boss Shin, you've made it big," Xin Fan feigned surprise. "How could you not when there's demolition money?" Shin Junjie laughed and then leaned closer to Xin Fan, whispering, "It's the basic model, I only managed to get it through connections, still cost over 300,000, so don't let the cat out of the bag." Xin Fan nodded with a smile. With that, the two got into the Mercedes-Benz. As the car drove on, Shin Junjie kept chattering, "This is just a crappy car of mine. Those rich kids in Huahai City drive Porsches from the start and live in luxury villas with river views. You know that young master from the Yuan family, right? I'm quite close to him. We call each other brothers and are planning to do business together. Once we make it big, I'll definitely get a Porsche." "The young master of the Yuan family, Yuan Zijie?" Xin Fan interrupted. The Yuan family ranked as the second largest family in Huahai City, and Yuan Zijie was their young master. Xin Fan knew this because they attended the same university. Yuan Zijie was a prominent figure at Huahai University, surrounded by beautiful women, admired by many. Of course, Xin Fan knew that Shin Junjie's claims of being close to Yuan Zijie and planning business ventures were likely exaggerated, typical of Shin Junjie's character to embellish his stories, often straying further from the truth. "Yeah, that Yuan Zijie," Shin Junjie chuckled. "You see, his name is Jia, and so is mine, double Jia, huh?" Though Shin Junjie seemed cheerful as he spoke, there was a hint of gloom in his eyes. Xin Fan's perception was sharp, and he roughly guessed that Shin Junjie did indeed know Yuan Zijie, but their relationship was probably strained, even to the extent of Shin Junjie being bullied by Yuan Zijie. "Let's not dwell on that," Shin Junjie changed the subject. "You know what? Tonight is quite coincidental. Su Jing, Shaolin, and Mo Xiaoxiao are all here, and you happen to be back too. Our group of friends will gather for dinner tonight." As Shin Junjie spoke, memories flooded Xin Fan's mind. Shaolin, whose name was Lin Zixuan, along with Su Jing and Mo Xiaoxiao, were Xin Fan's childhood playmates from the old residential area, attending the same school from elementary to high school. So, they were true childhood friends, the closest of comrades. That is indeed quite a coincidence, Xin Fan couldn't help but smile. "So, I didn't want to wait until tomorrow. I called you guys over, and we'll have a feast tonight," Shin Junjie chuckled. Soon, amidst their banter, they arrived at a restaurant called Hongyun Pavilion. Hongyun Pavilion was a nationwide chain restaurant, considered upscale in a city like Huahai. Tonight's dinner for Xin Fan's table alone would likely cost at least 3,000 yuan. As they got out of the car and approached the entrance of the restaurant, they saw two women and one man waiting for them. The man was Lin Zixuan, wearing glasses and looking scholarly. One of the women had a tall and athletic figure, wearing shorts that showcased her straight and snowy white legs. She exuded an exceptional allure, with a wild beauty about her. The other woman surpassed her in appearance, wearing ordinary clothes that couldn't conceal her elegant demeanor. She was captivating, like a blooming snow lotus. "Zixuan, Xiaoxiao, Jing, look who's here." Shin Junjie dragged Xin Fan to the front, grinning. "Oh my god, Xin Fan, you finally decided to come back to Huahai. I thought you'd forgotten the way home." Watch how I'll deal with you. Without waiting for others to speak, Mo Xiaoxiao spoke, her voice carrying authority. Yeah, Fan Ji, you're something else. You never come back to hang out with us, Lin Zixuan chimed in, smiling warmly. How about you buy us a bottle later as a way to apologize? Xin Fan's back, let's not hold it against him, Su Jing said softly on the side. Hearing this, everyone burst into laughter. As Qin Fan surveyed these people, he noted that Mo Xiaoxiao came from a military family. Both her elder brothers were soldiers. She went straight to military school after graduating high school, having been exposed to military training and martial arts since childhood, resulting in her fiery temperament and physique. Lin Zixuan's parents were workers, and he excelled academically from a young age. He attended the renowned Jingcheng University of Xia Country, hence his scholarly demeanor. Su Jing was known as the neighborhood's renowned beauty, captivating countless men. Qin Fan, welcome back. Mo Xiaoxiao walked up to Qin Fan without any hesitation, giving him a big hug. Welcome back. Lin Zixuan lightly punched Qin Fan on the shoulder. Welcome back. Su Jing smiled gently at Qin Fan. Let's go in and have a feast, Shen Junjie announced loudly. Soon, the group entered a private room. Qin Fan sat opposite Su Jing, observing her. His brows furrowed slightly. He hadn't noticed it before, but now as he gazed at Su Jing, he sensed a peculiar aura emanating from her, one that wasn't human. In my memories, Su Jing's family was just an ordinary working-class family, nothing special. Oh yes, she moved to that neighborhood around the beginning of junior high, Qin Fan thought, puzzled by the unusual aura he sensed from Su Jing. Su Jing came from a very ordinary working-class family, her only remarkable feature being her outstanding appearance, which rivaled even Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui with such beauty. Su Jing's attire should definitely not be so plain. Qin Fan, why have you been staring at me? Su Jing felt Qin Fan's gaze and couldn't help but ask. Qin Fan, are you trying to get ideas about our beauty, Jingjing? Mo Xiaoxiao teased playfully. Don't call me a beauty, Su Jing frowned. Okay, not a beauty, but a beauty nonetheless, Shen Junjie joked. Then, the group started to play around. As Qin Fan sat there watching them, he felt the sincerity of their friendship, untainted by any ulterior motives. And in that moment, a feeling he had never experienced before washed over him. Qin Fan felt the change and his lips curved slightly. This is what friendship is, he thought. Meanwhile, as everyone chatted and laughed, Su Jing occasionally glanced at Qin Fan. She suddenly felt that the Qin Fan in front of her was different from the one in her memory, but she couldn't quite pinpoint the differences. It must be because we haven't seen each other in so many years, right? Su Jing mumbled to herself in her heart. Seeing his long-lost childhood friend, Shen Junjie drank too much and started speaking the truth. Junjie, stop drinking and talking, Lin Zixuan advised. I can't hold it back. That day, I just wanted to get acquainted. My name was given by my parents, but just because it had Jia in it, I got beaten up. Not only was I beaten up, I even got taken to the police station. If it wasn't for my dad spending tens of thousands and begging the people from the Yuan family, I might have ended up in jail. As Shen Junjie spoke, tears welled up in his eyes. Qin Fan listened, his brows furrowing slightly. Shen Junjie had tried to expand his family's business last year and met Yuan Zijie at a banquet just because of their similar names. They clashed, and Shen Junjie was not only humiliated by Yuan Zijie but also ended up in a jail cell. Yuan Zijie, I'll remember that. I'll avenge you for this grudge, Qin Fan said firmly. Whether you're boasting or not, just because you said that, we're brothers for life, Shen Junjie said, laughing. Come, let's drink. Shen Junjie knew he couldn't really get back at Yuan Zijie, but a little trash-talking was harmless. The others laughed and continued their conversation. As they drank, they talked about their lives. Mo Xiaoxiao was now serving as a soldier in the Southern Military District, aiming to join the Special Forces. Lin Zixuan, after graduating from Jingcheng University, returned to Huahai and became an assistant manager at a company. He had a girlfriend, but her family was quite materialistic, demanding an exorbitant dowry of 888,000 yuan, which made Lin Zixuan uncomfortable. Qin Fan, don't just listen, tell us about yourself, Shen Junjie, slightly intoxicated, asked. I'm currently working as a doctor at Jiangha Hospital in Jiangcheng, Qin Fan replied. A doctor? That's great. Doctors are awesome. You don't have to go around begging people like me, Shen Junjie said. Do you have a girlfriend? Mo Xiaoxiao asked casually. Damn, Mo Xiao Xiao, are you eyeing Qin Fan? Shen Junjie chimed in. Oh, come on, as his big sister, can't I just care about his well-being? Mo Xiao Xiao slammed the table, irritated. Alright, Miss Mo's in love, Shen Junjie teased with a grin. Shen Junjie, I swear I'll beat you up, Mo Xiao Xiao threatened, getting physical with Shen Junjie. You two are like a bickering couple every time you're together, Lin Zixuan pushed his glasses up. How about you pair up? Get lost. Mo Xiao Xiao retorted this shrew, who would want to be paired up with her? Shen Junjie joined in the banter. Everyone laughed. What about you, Jingjing? Mo Xiao Xiao asked after their playful exchange. Me? I haven't done much, just helping out my parents at home, Su Jing replied calmly. Su Beauty, with your looks, you could easily become a rich man's wife. If it weren't for my self-awareness, knowing I'm not up to your standards, I would have pursued you, Shen Junjie joked. Su Jing blushed slightly at his words, shaking her head repeatedly. I'm just not suitable. The others laughed, thinking Su Jing must be looking for an exceptionally wealthy man. Only Qin Fan knew Su Jing's uniqueness. Su Jing was an upcoming master in Taoist practices. Previously, Qin Fan had encountered Yuan and Gu Santon, both Taoist masters. They were over 60 years old, but Su Jing, at 24, was already half a step away from mastering the Taoist arts. What's more, she possessed the 7 apertures exquisite body, an extraordinary spiritual physique, perfect for cultivation. However, its greatest use was as a cauldron. In the cultivation world, there were demonic cultivators who used pillaging to advance their cultivation. This method was extremely cruel, but it was a shortcut. If one could find an excellent cauldron for pill refining, the process would be much more efficient. However, the cauldron would suffer and eventually be depleted to death. Su Jing happened to have the highest grade cauldron physique. Could it be that Su Jing has already been discovered by someone? Qin Fan pondered as he looked at her. Qin Fan, you've been staring at Jingjing since you came in. Seems like you're smitten, Mo Xiao Xiao, the big mouth, shouted again. What's so strange about being attracted to Miss Su? Both Zixuan and I were attracted to her before. Qin Fan is no exception. He didn't dare to show it before, but what's wrong with expressing it now? Shen Junjie also shouted, apparently letting it all out after drinking too much. You're drunk, Lin Zixuan retorted, but didn't refute Shen Junjie's words. What drunk? I'm just playing matchmaker for my brothers. If Qin Fan doesn't speak up now, he might miss his chance, Shen Junjie continued. Yeah, Qin Fan, speak up. If you and Jingjing end up together after all these years, we'll be happy too, Mo Xiao Xiao started to chime in. Seize the opportunity, Qin Fan, Lin Zixuan joined in. No, I'm not suitable for anyone, really not, Su Jing shook her head, her face turning crimson. You haven't even said anything yet, why are you so anxious? Mo Xiao Xiao went over and hugged Su Jing, teasingly saying to Qin Fan, speak up, I'm waiting. Su Jing, Qin Fan addressed her sincerely. Qin Fan, please, don't say anything, Su Jing seemed a bit flustered, urging Qin Fan not to continue. However, Qin Fan didn't stop. Instead, he said earnestly, if you ever encounter any problems, I'll be there to help you. Ah, Su Jing was stunned for a moment, then shook her head. I don't have any problems. The smile on Su Jing's face seemed forced, her gaze shifting, unable to meet Qin Fan's eyes directly. Humph, after all that build-up, that's all you say? You disappoint me, Mo Xiao Xiao teased, rolling her eyes at Qin Fan. The others lost interest upon hearing Qin Fan's words and quickly changed the subject. Qin Fan didn't say much more. Though Qin Fan wasn't the same as before, inheriting all the memories, he keenly felt that the previous Qin Fan had admired Su Jing, but due to his humble background, he had never shown it. Moreover, every one of these people in front of him cherished their friendship with him so sincerely. It was this genuine friendship that once again changed Qin Fan's state of mind. Now, these people were his friends, his most sincere friends. Since they're my friends, I absolutely won't allow anyone to bully them, Qin Fan thought to himself.